Joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the Radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the Radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, folks. This will be one of those days where I will not play the intro music because, of course, there is a tone that has to be set. And reflection must happen. I have so many things to discuss today about where we are. One, in the investigation of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. It is also the 24th somber anniversary of September 11th. We'll talk to a guest today, to Patrick Hicks, about tone, because that is the theme of today. It is about tone. Patrick Hicks has an Instagram following where he talks about music, and recently he did a post about the tone of the music industry and radio after the events of September 11th. So today, that theme will be tone. It's a thing my wife often gets on me about when we are in discussions. She always says, it's not what you say, it is how you say it. I never understand that, but I'm learning. I'm a man. We're always constantly in the throes of learning. And that's a good thing, by the way. Today, there are so many things to talk about. I can do an opening monologue for 4 solid hours on a myriad of different topics related to the same thing. I'm going to try to do that today, but I need you only to break up a little of the monotony. I do not want to be preachy here today. I do not want to be this person who is looking up on high and pointing down to you and telling you how you must behave, how you must put this into perspective, how you must think. None of that. But I am going to share my thoughts. My wife is going to be on the show today, again, a day early, to talk about something that I know that she is probably uncomfortable with saying out loud, but it is worth the discussion. I'll get into that in a minute, because again, like Rush used to say, I don't want to make this about me, but sometimes it is. And I've been receiving messages and phone calls. One in particular from John Beckman. Good on you, my brother. I loved you, and I appreciate your phone call today. We'll get into that discussion and why my wife has been so distraught for the last 20-something hours. I also am going to address the tone online to people who are making fun of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. We will get into that very early and at length. I was going to write my Sunday article about an old proverb, an axiom, if you will, about a person who throws a stone and hides their hand. But I figured I'm going to go in another direction for my piece in Substack. I'll wait. I'll just write it on Saturday and it'll be on Sunday. It will be about Charlie Kirk, but I've decided to go in a different direction. But I want to talk about now about throwing a stone to hide your hand and those who celebrate a coward. And this is not in the traditional sense of saying, look at this person who shot him. What a coward. No. I want you to think about this. We have confirmed evidence that the shooter, the killer, the assassinator of Charlie Kirk wrote messages on the rifle that, quote, express transgender and anti-fascist ideology. Wrote it on the weapon, but did not stand up on high on that roof and say, I did it, come and get me. The individual ran. He left a note as he ran away because of his fear of being held accountable. This sound familiar? It should. But he ran. He ran into the shadows, into the woods. He's hiding. He in no way feels righteous. The adoration, the gratitude that people are giving a person they do not know, they've never met, and is too cowardly to accept his fate and to accept responsibility for what he did, they applaud. Think about what that says about those individuals. And on top of that, to make matters worse, those people who are online cheering for clicks, we know, don't have the guts to pull off anything remotely close. They would never do it. That to them is beneath them. That's why it's easy for them to cheer and applaud someone else doing the work that they can only revel in. That is the reason why it is so easy to cast your hatred on them, because you understand they are. Those people are bold enough to accept a degree of credit for something they've never done or would ever do. They would rather cheer on a shadowy figure, not knowing his motives, who he is, or why. They felt in some way, because of their apathy towards conservatives, or be it against Charlie Kirk, that in some way they felt vindicated, that somehow they have been unburdened. Consider that. But as I told you folks yesterday, this is the one thing I want to pay attention to. By the way, Roland, whoever that is, put them on hold. It's somebody calling from Waterbury. It's obviously a first-time caller. And I want them to stick around. So, the caller, if you're listening, please stay there. I want to read this to you. I need to read this to you because, as I always like to say, there is nothing new under the sun. I see the outrage online. It's all over my X feed. It's all over my, TikTok feed, my Facebook feed. Everybody outraged about these people who are celebrating a dark, shadowy figure who ran after taking a man's life, instead of standing there saying, I did it. I'm the guy. In Amarillo, Texas, a journalist has reported that there was rejoicing in the street with a woman crying out, hey, great, he's croaked. Diners near a restaurant were smiling in response to a high school student who shouted the same thing with delight. In a wealthy Dallas suburb, pupils, in Oklahoma City, I'm getting ahead of myself. In Oklahoma City, a physician told a grief-stricken visitor, good, I hope they got his wife. In a small Connecticut town, a doctor called across the street to an internist, saying the joyride's over. Some schools in Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, and, of course, in Dallas, students expressed joy at his death. In Memphis, Tennessee, Richard Ely, the president of the Memphis City Council, addressed the Nashville Citizens Council, stating that he died a tyrant's death. He was a tyrant. Some people were put off by those words, and only a few, but they left the room. And last but not least, the one that I wanted to get to. In a wealthy Dallas suburb, pupils in a fourth grade class burst into spontaneous applause after hearing about his death. Does that shock you? That last one? That last one got me. I'll read it again. A wealthy Dallas suburb, pupils in a fourth grade class burst into spontaneous applause upon hearing the news of his death. Folks, these reports were not about Charlie Kirk. These reports happened after November 22nd, 1963, after the death of John Fitzgerald Kennedy. There's nothing new under the sun. There were public celebrations after April 4th of 1968, immediately after the death of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This is not new. On the first anniversary in 2002 of the September 11th attacks, 1,000 Muslims gathered in Finsbury Park outside of a mosque in London to commemorate the attacks on the Twin Towers and the Pentagon, calling it a towering day in history. They celebrated while being protected by 500 police officers. The only difference is that you can see these things online. You have direct access to them. I tell people all the time that we live in a different world, but it is always the same. The difference between now and 1963, the difference between now and 1968, the difference between now and 2001 even, is our access to things that drive us through the roof, make us angry, influence us, inflame us. But do not be surprised, as I told you yesterday. Stop being surprised. You know a dark alley is dangerous. You know that you must be safe by locking your doors, your car door and your home door. You do know that you need an alarm system. You are not naive. I always question the outrage that people have online at the things that they're seeing, and I'm asking myself, did you think this was the first time you'd ever seen it? No. This is the human condition. It has always been that way. Humans are flawed. I had somebody who used to be a friend of mine who used to always talk about people's humanity, and he'd always use it in a positive way. And I said, you don't understand what that word means. Humanity means both good and bad, because as humans, some people have ill intent. People used to say, why are there some people that are evil? Well, it's simple. Without it, how would you know what was good? Really? How would you? How would you be able to discern? There are things that we call necessary evils. In order for us to fight for a better life, a better civilization, a better world, we must have something to protect. We must have something to benefit from. And we do know that there are just natural evils there in the world as well. I say this because now I get to the most controversial part of what my statements are going to be, and that is about Charlie Kirk. And I was talking to my brothers yesterday, My brother Charles and my brother Briggs. Charles is the middle kid. Briggs is the baby out of my 4 siblings. 2 girls, 3 boys. And as we were on the phone yesterday talking about all of this, both of my brothers were not fans of Charlie Kirk, but watched his videos avidly. And my brother Charles, the middle one, said something that was absolutely profound. It captured exactly what I was going through. I don't know if it's the same for you, but I just thought it was relevant. He says, I didn't know this guy like that. I did watch his videos. I thought he was incredibly influential, and I loved the way he went back and forth with people, that he debated them, that he invited that difference of opinion, and he was always respectful. And my brother Charles said, I feel like we were robbed of something. I feel like there was a theft that took place. Now somebody is gone that I was in opposition to, and now he's not here, and I can't debate him anymore. I love the debate. I love the challenge, and someone took that from me. And my little brother Briggs said, yep, that's it. That's it. And we went to Kobe Bryant in the same way. Why did we feel different about Kobe Bryant? Neither of us were fans of Kobe Bryant. But when he died, we said the same thing. We hated on him every time when he played against our favorite team. But now that he's not here, we don't have that opportunity to be challenged by him. That was important to the relationship. And we felt robbed. And that's what we're feeling now. But I need you to listen. There is something to recognize here. God took Charlie. God is always in command. God is always in control. Charlie is the force that he is because that was God's design. And Charlie's passing and his influence and the pain and the fear and the energy that we all have for what happened is all by God's design. Charlie Kirk didn't have to die. By no way. His family did not deserve to lose a brother, a husband, a father. But that was always in God's hands, not ours. We must be moved by his passing, not angry. His death must be a useful tool for the rest of us to get right. As it did when Kobe died for me. Charlie Cook must be a force for good in his death. He has to be. Because the other direction is chaos. The other direction harms everyone. I said yesterday, and I'll say it again, we have a choice. Let's choose wisely. We'll be back. I'll take your phone calls when we return. It's Reese on the Radio.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance is in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated, because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life. And fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Northeast Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you, including our new office in Warwick, Rhode Island.
Here at ALO, we believe hearing solutions to your main drain problems shouldn't cost a thing. That's why we offer free mainline drain camera inspections and free estimates on sewer line repair or replacement. Contact the trusted professionals at ALO when you call, click, or text today and say, "Hello, ALO." Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P10277688, S10413487, D10401465, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds, and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day, and nothing worked until Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food, crazy, enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick Hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again, my blood pressure went down, and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Join Mark Patrick Seminar's Early Bird Special, only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings. That's right. Seminars Thursday, September 18th, Hilton Garden in Hartford North, Bradley International Airport in Windsor. Weight Loss Seminar 5:30. Stop Smoking Seminar 8 p.m. Or Saturday, September 20th, Holiday Inn Express, Southington. Weight Loss Seminar 11 a.m. Stop Smoking Seminar 2 p.m. Register markpatrickseminars.com.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 2:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. Ceremonies are being held across the country and the state, marking 24 years since the September 11th, 2001 terror attacks. The names of the victims were read aloud at Ground Zero, as they are on this day every year. At a ceremony in Meriden this morning, a flag that flew over the rubble of the World Trade Center in the days after the attacks was raised to half-staff outside City Hall. President Trump attended and spoke at a ceremony at the Pentagon, where one of the planes hit that day. Trump also paid tribute to conservative commentator Charlie Kirk, cut down by an assassin's bullet while speaking at a college in Utah on Wednesday. Trump said he would award the 31-year-old a posthumous Presidential Medal of Freedom. In the meantime, local, state, and federal authorities in Utah continue to work the case. They have released video stills of a suspected shooter, white male dressed in dark clothing and sunglasses. They say he appears to be college-aged and was able to blend into the crowd during Kirk's appearance, or the crowd that attended Kirk's appearance. FBI has announced a $100,000 reward for information leading to an arrest and conviction. Man is charged with stealing money from a Little League association. East Lyme police are charging 42-year-old Roland Allard. They say he stole $87,000 from the East Lyme Little League Association. He's due back in court later this month. The state's asking the WNBA for documents related to the sale of the Connecticut Sun, saying there is suspicion that the league is acting unfairly to take the Sun away from Connecticut. And an Arizona judge has temporarily blocked the Trump administration's efforts to remove Guatemalan and Honduran children living in shelters or foster care after coming to the U.S. alone. WTIC News time is 2:32. Bob Cox with the forecast.
Temperatures this afternoon mostly between 75 and 80 degrees with a mostly sunny sky and a north wind at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight will be partly cloudy, lows mostly in the 50s. Friday, sunshine mixing with a few clouds, a good day with highs in the 70s. Partly cloudy Friday night, lows between 47 and 55. During the weekend, we'll have high pressure at the surface and lower pressure aloft, resulting in a mix of sun and clouds. There could be a shower popping up either day over the weekend, but it should be dry much of the time, and it's a comfortable weekend with highs in the 70s. Monday looks partly sunny, highs in the low to mid-70s, mostly sunny Tuesday, with highs again in the 70s. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
Wall Street, the Dow up 603 points. NASDAQ's up 152. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
You've heard about the thousands of patients finally getting relief from chronic joint pain thanks to QC Kinetics non-invasive treatments. And here's one who was determined to avoid surgery. Meet Vicky.
The orthopedic surgeon said, well, you're going to need knee replacement sooner rather than later. I kept hearing commercials about QC Kinetics and thought, well, I'm going to check them out first.
QC Kinetics has treated over 20,000 patients like Vicky around the country. People who were told they needed surgery but chose a more natural, less invasive approach that uses regenerative treatment treatments to help heal and restore painful joints with no downtime.
If QC Kinetics had not been what I expected, I would have gone through with the surgery, but I got so much relief, am now pretty much pain-free that I don't have to have the surgery.
Before going under the knife, you need to check out QC Kinetics. The consultation is free. Call today.
Call QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Check the back seat. Check the back seat.
Gets in your head, right? Good, because every year dozens of children are forgotten in the back seat. Cars get hot fast and can be deadly, so get it in your head. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-201-7676, 800-201-7676, 800-201-7676.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Guess who's watching Rob Finnerty on Newsmax? President Trump is. He even says Finnerty's show is so terrific. Millions are joining President Trump to watch Finnerty every night at 8 p.m. Eastern on Newsmax. All this week, Rob looks at the media's war on President Trump. Rob gives you the facts about the National Guard in cities like New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles. He tells you the real truth about the Jeffrey Epstein files, and he reveals the big media's agenda on Trump's health. You need to watch Rob Finnerty on Newsmax. Check out your local cable system. Newsmax is on all major systems. Or download the free Newsmax app. It costs you nothing, and you can watch in minutes. Finnerty is the fastest-growing primetime news show in America. Find out why even President Trump is tuning in. More than 40 million Americans go to Newsmax for news they can trust. Because we are real news for real people.
Yo, city driver. Oh, the grind, the potholes, the constant stop and go,
Thank you,
the
sir.
mileage racking up quick. When your ride suddenly gives out, that's a problem you don't need. It's time to future-proof your ride. CarShield gets it. We're talking a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that saves you from those nasty out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Engine light on, transmission acting up. Imagine paying almost nothing for covered repairs. Yeah, you heard that right. Nothing. This special alert is for every American driver with your factory warranty running out, or you've got no coverage at all. This protection plan is at an all-time low, and we're hooking you up. Activate today and also get free roadside assistance, free towing, and even car rental options, no extra cost. Don't get stuck with unexpected repair bills. Drive smart, drive protected. Call CarShield for your free quick quote right now and future-proof your ride today. 800-220-4067. That's 800-220-4067. What are you waiting for? Call 800-220-4067. 800-220-4067. Again, 800-220-4067.
Listen to WTIC News Talk 1080 on the free Odyssey app. Download and like WTIC today for alerts on special programming.
If you're just joining us, of course, we are discussing the assassination of Charlie Kirk. It has been official and confirmed that the FBI has told the Wall Street Journal, and I think this was originally reported by Steven Crowder because he had a screenshot of it, and I think they've been sharing it online, that the magazine and cartridges and bullets, it appears, express transgender and anti-fascist ideology. So that gives us a breakdown of what the individual was trying to share in some sort of political way. Also, the FBI has released photographs of who they believe is the shooter. I looked online to find out the picture of the T-shirt that they're wearing. It is a veteran's shirt. I don't know if that will give them some access to clues. They believe that the person blended in with members of the college campus because of his age or his alleged age. He appears the age of a college student. But the manhunt continues. There have been some reports about an airport and all of that stuff. I haven't heard anything about that, so I'm trying to stay clear of it. But I did want to mention it because I know people are talking about it. Other conspiracy theories are also out there. I try to stay away from them. I don't call them lies. I just, when we have to do reporting, we do what we're, we have to do what we're doing, and that's getting the information out there. Let's get to the phones because I know that a lot of people want to express, and please, all show, if you wish to express your condolences or anything you want to add about the assassination, how you're feeling, please, I'm going to sort of share a personal story myself. Let's get to Alicia, who's calling from Waterbury. Hello, ma'am. Alicia, you there? Oh, no. You know what I did?
You didn't transfer your phone
I
over?
totally did not. Thank you for telling me. I totally forgot to do that. Give me a second because I have to start over. I didn't realize that we did the show on what do you call it? On online yesterday.
See, you made me look bad.
I did.
Because Joey just said, does Reese have trouble transfer?
No.
I said, no, he always does it
I always
on time.
do it.
And then look what you do.
I totally did. And I made you look bad in the process, which is never my intent. It was not Roland's fault. It was my fault. User error as usual. Now let's get it right. I apologize.
Wait,
Alicia, are you there?
I am. I'm Patty. Can you hear me?
Oh, it's Patty. Okay, well, it came in as Alicia. How are you, Patty?
Hi. Were you able to hear me at all? Or
Perfect.
Did you hear anything I said?
You're perfect. No. I didn't click on you, but you can start over. What's up?
Okay. I actually wanted to call and I wanted to thank you first for all you do and
Thank
for
you.
listening to us also and what you provide to the show. But I wanted to say on a personal note, of course, we lost a great man yesterday, a person who actually really modeled everything that was beautiful about God, family, and country. He lived it. He talked it. He reached across to people who were lost. He reached about people who actually adored him and looked up to him, who had so much to offer our future. And we know he's in a wonderful place, and he's actually at peace.
Yeah.
And all I can say is that I think sometimes maybe people are backing away from it today, but you and I hear it all the time. There's a lot of division in this country. Our politicians feed into it. There's a lot of polarizing. And people have less tolerance for someone who disagrees with them to the point of actually even harming another person. I will say, yes, there's always been violence in society, but you know what? There was a time in this country there was law and order. And I think the best generation actually came back because they had enormous amount of wisdom that they learned from World War II.
Yeah.
And they valued life. They valued liberty. They valued everything this country asked. They worked hard. They lived also for God, family, and country. And they taught their children to be disciplined, to be doing good in school, to have incentives, to make the best of yourself. And actually, today, we are enabling a system that is encouraging crime. And we are putting people out on the street. And I'm going to say this, I recall a time not so long ago when I thought it was a major, major mistake to close mental health centers, because these people had nowhere to go, and you're counting on people taking medications that are new to them, that they maybe should be actually observed for how they tolerate medications, the dosage, et cetera, on it. And they do have some serious side effects to them, as any medication would. And certain ones, even coming off of them, they should be observed. They should be done in a certain manner. They need to be watched and observed. And when they closed the facilities, the people were beside themselves.
Yeah.
When I was in nursing, I visited 3 different facilities in Connecticut. They are all closed. They have nowhere to go. So they're out on the street. They're not well. They may not take their medication well. We don't even know if their medication works for them well, because we don't even know what the follow-up is.
Yeah. Wait, what we're going to do is, Patty, we are going to see this There are going to be a lot of changes, but I think that what you'll see immediately after this is a lot of focus on one thing instead of talking about a myriad of things as you just discussed. I got to get to some other calls, Patty, but as always, thank you.
Thank you.
You got it. Let's go to Bill in Granby. How are you, Bill?
Hey, Reese. Great show as always. First time caller. I used to be a regular with Todd and Shattuck, but your show's great too. So glad to be here.
Thank you.
First of all, I want to extend my condolences to Charlie and to Charlie's wife and his family and his children. What happened to him yesterday was just awful. And you know, in my view, Charlie is a MLK Jr., JFK Jr.
Indeed
type of figure. I think. You know, there's no doubt he converted. He went to campuses, and the irony about Charlie is he modeled classic liberal thinking and education and was willing to debate anybody at any time using facts and circumstances and information, you know, his photographic memory and as well read as he was. It was amazing, right? And his ability to then access those memory banks and make extemporaneous arguments in debates that were irrefutable.
I have one that I've got to play. You bring up a great point, Bill, because I've got one where he talks about the importance of the Judeo-Christian Bible values and how they apply to the rule of law and the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Like, in essence, like someone made an argument about how God is only mentioned 4 times. And then he goes on to explain exactly how in the colonies, when we first had the 13 colonies, how each and every person who was elected into public office in the 13 colonies they had to recognize God. And he breaks it all. I got the audio. I'm going to play it later on. But you're absolutely right. His recall without notes was impeccable.
Well, not only his recall, because he had a photographic memory, but then his ability to access snippets of his memory bank and put them together extemporaneously in arguments using facts and data that were just irrefutable and unbelievably logical. He turned millions of liberals into conservatives.
That he did.
The irony is that he did it using classic liberal. He modeled classic liberal behavior. If you went back 30 or 40 years, that is the way that classic liberals would like your two brothers that you disagree with.
Yeah.
Steel sharpens steel.
Yes.
And I've got lots of liberal friends that I love and that are wonderful people. And we have amazing debates. And I'm a better person because they've changed my view on things. And I know I've changed their view on things. So steel sharpens steel. And I agree with your brothers and with you. That's what's missing.
That's the theft. That is the theft that we all feel.
Right. He was a one of one. Now, to me, the good thing is that Charlie created Gen Z is the largest conservative generation, and it's largely because of Charlie and the work he did on the campuses. And there will never be another Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
But there will be from those millions, there will be exemplar one of ones that will be their own unique best selves and that will take the movement forward. And they'll be as good as Charlie in a different way. There will be,
if not better,
rise from right.
If not better. Thank you, Bill.
Legacy will last forever.
You got it. Thank you, Bill. Bill makes a very, very good point about what Charlie Kirk did at 18 years old. What was so phenomenal about what he did was he did take the tactics of the left. And what Bill is talking about is Charlie recognized something that was happening. And I remember, and I'll use another firebrand and very important intellectual in conservative thought, and that is Charles Krauthammer. Charles Krauthammer famously said on Bret Baier's show that conservatives made a huge mistake by abandoning academia. By once the academia, the Ivy League became or latched on to leftist ideology, conservatives said, we're gone. And they bounced from it and went in other places. They started think tanks or they started other schools. Hillsdale College, a proud sponsor of this network. They started things like that, but they left academia. Charlie Kirk seized on it. He used that tactic because that's where the influence was. When people were trying to get recruiters off campuses, who was filling that void? Activists. And they had been there forever. And Charlie grew. You got another group that's out there. It's called Campus Reform. You can find them on YouTube. Great videos, by the way. But they did not have the effect that Turning Point did. Well, think about this. This guy was a high schooler, 18 years old, Charlie Kirk. And he wanted to change. He believed, like others around his circles, that conservatism was the right way to go, and he wanted to reach more and more people. And in that, he grew it. He's 31 when he dies. But at 18, he makes his first appearance on Fox News, talking about conservatism and young people. And he starts preaching that, orthodoxy, and going everywhere and growing Turning Point USA. To the point it's at 35,000 college and high school campuses. Turning Point USA chapters. He's 31, folks. 31. 250,000 proud members of that group and holding this tour that was beginning. It is untimely death. That tour was about what? To go to other schools. He was never stopping. He didn't see the election, won it, gets credit from the president of the United States, and goes, my work here is done. No, he goes back because he knows the fight's not over. Before I go to a break, I got to say it again. It is important to understand. Charlie Kirk's death is not in vain. It isn't. Why? Because think about all that you are feeling right now. Which one of you wants to shelter in the dark? Who does? Who isn't galvanized by him? His memory, his purpose. Who isn't? When we come back, I'll talk a little bit about that as well. And I want to tell a little personal story between my wife and I, just today and a little bit about yesterday. John Beckman was a part of this conversation too. Even my ex-wife jumped in. We'll talk about it when we return. Stand by. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hi, Joel Johnson here with Johnson Brunetti. Taxes don't pay a nickel more than you're supposed to, especially getting close to retirement or in retirement. Call or text the word taxes to request your free copy of our Tax Explorer Guide, 1-800-705-1232. Call or text the word taxes, 1-800-705-1232. Don't pay an extra nickel in taxes.
Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me, they calm me down, they make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative.
Here we go.
Else promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
There are plenty of things that, of course, can be said about Charlie Kirk, and we will get to them today. I have that audio I was just talking about where he breaks down government, Charlie Kirk does. I'm going to play that in the next hour so that you can hear it if you haven't missed it. There are so many videos that are popping up about Charlie Kirk, everybody posting their favorite moment by him. TikTok has gone crazy talking about how TikTok has become Charlie Kirk's social media now. So many Democrats, young people who are Democrats who are joining the likes of Charlie Kirk, following his mission, believing in him and what he stood for. If I could, I want to give you a little example of that in a minute. I'll wait for a minute, but I want to talk about what happened to me yesterday and today. Got a phone call, a couple of messages today. And I think it sort of plays into Charlie Kirk as well. Many people are talking about Charlie Kirk. Why didn't he have security in so many places? And in speaking for Charlie, and I don't know this, but I just, from what I know about him and what many of us know about Charlie Kirk, he was a modest Christian man. He did not see himself as a deity. He did not deify himself. He had protection for people who would attack him or people who would spit at him or yell curse words at him. And of course, he thought people might want to attack him in some way, so he had security there. But did he think that he would succumb to an assassin's bullet? No, of course not. Again, he did not deify himself. And that may have been, again, like a mistake in a sense of saying that not being cautious, that his words or the conflict that he had with folks was that dangerous. Maybe he was naive in that sense, many people are saying. And I, again, don't think so. I think that he didn't think that, look, yeah, there were some people who would get angry, but not to the point where they would want him dead. He's like, what am I doing? I'm talking about God. I'm talking about faith. I'm talking about family. I'm talking about life, preserving life. I'm talking about the truth. Who would want to kill a person over someone's ideas? And then this happens, and then you immediately start looking to other things, right? It's like, how do I somehow blame? You don't. Recognize what happened. It is what it is. The event is in a vacuum because one man shot Charlie Kirk. Now, my wife has been all over the place. She's leaving things around. She doesn't know where she is, and she's completely out of sorts. Until finally, as many others have said to me, she just grabbed me and she just said, I'm scared for you. And the reason why I mentioned what I just said about Charlie Kirk is because that's what I've been thinking. It's like, really? Reese on the radio? For what? Because I disagree? Because I'm kind of a lightning rod? Because people might be angry at what I say? I have no fear. No one wants to. But you do have to accept. And I accept. So did Charlie. He didn't know. How could he? But he accepted it. And I made a decision a long time ago. I was never going to run in fear. I've been down this road. I've had my life challenged. This isn't new. This is the job. Some people work in an office. I do this. It's just the job. It is the job. And my wife said to me, she goes, look, I never ever want you to stop being you. I want you to do what you do, but I'm scared. I'd be a fool to say I wasn't worried. I know there are some people out there who just can't deal, who don't want to have a conversation, who need you to be silent. I understand. But I can't walk away. I can't cower. Again, running away is just as bad as being dead. Do you understand that? Running away? Never. And don't deify myself. I refuse. I am no deity. I'm just a guy on the radio. I've got to deliver news. I've got to tell people calm down. I got to tell people take a beat. I've got to make sure that I set the right tone. But don't be fearful. That's what they want. That's what they want. And if they get it here, remember what happens. If they win, they don't stop. It's like bullying. The old adage about bullying. What happens when a bully knows that he can punch you in the nose and get away with it? He then kicks you in the knee. He then throws you to the ground. He then stomps you. And if you let him, he'll kill you. So you can't let a bully be a bully. And that's what this was about. This was like, this will shut them up. This will make them run in fear. This will keep them quiet. You have a choice. And if they shut you up, it isn't your choice. It's theirs. You know that. So I appreciate the concern. But like I tell a lot of people, I'm good. I got this. Let's get to the WTIC newsroom with John Silva. It's Reese on the Radio.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
78 degrees, sunny skies in Hartford. Good afternoon. We'll keep the sunshine today. Temperatures make a run at 80. We'll have the forecast details coming up. The FBI is offering a $100,000 reward for information leading to an ID and an arrest of Charlie Kirk's killer. Authorities have released a photo of a person of interest. He's young, dressed in dark clothing and sunglasses. More from correspondent Anna Schechter.
This photo tells us a lot. It tells us that they don't have the suspect's exact ID pinned down. Otherwise, they likely would have put a name out there when they're asking the public to help find the individual. But they certainly have plenty of video elements, images of this person.
And correspondent Scott McFarland says authorities have evidence, including a weapon.
Well, they said the shooter blended in well, or was able to blend in on a college campus, either through his attire, through his demography, whatever age he is, and the ability of the forensics teams to look at that firearm. It's at an FBI lab right now, to work with the palm prints, fingerprints, and footprints they've obtained should help them move this along. But they also have just a tonnage of video.
President Trump paid tribute to Kirk today during a 9/11 ceremony at the Pentagon. The 31-year-old's casket will fly from Utah to his home state of Arizona. Aboard Air Force Two, Vice President Vance has flown to Salt Lake City. Linda Kenyon reports a number of public officials have expressed concerns about security in the wake of Kirk's killing.
Republican Representative James Comer was asked about whether he has concerns about security.
I mean, you always think about it.
Standing outside the U.S. Capitol building, the chairman of the House Oversight Committee added,
Outdoor events probably are going to be a lot fewer in numbers for members of Congress.
Democratic Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has canceled a rally for tonight due to security concerns, while Republican Representative Nancy Mace said she's going to double down on her beliefs and start carrying a firearm. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
And the incident should not deter Americans from expressing their freedom of speech rights. So says Quinnipiac University professor Wayne Unger.
You may disagree with the political views of Charlie Kirk or many others, and we have to recognize that, them by sharing their political views we can engage in conversations that many individuals across the world are not able to have.
More details on a school shooting in Colorado Wednesday where 2 students remain hospitalized. Stacey Lynn reports.
The suspect has been identified as Desmond Hulley. He was a 16-year-old student at the school.
The suspect's gun was fired a lot.
Jackie Kelly with the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office.
We have windows shot out. We have lockers that were shot up.
She says they believe he was radicalized by some extreme network, but they still don't have a motive.
The warrants that we have are for the home, the suspect's phone, obviously locker. He did not bring a vehicle here. He rode the bus yesterday morning.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
Top state officials are emphasizing there is no change in COVID vaccine eligibility here in Connecticut. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s CDC wants to restrict access for those aged 18 to 65 with no underlying conditions. But under executive actions taken by Governor Lamont, there's no such restriction in the state. Public Health Commissioner Dr. Manisha Jutani.
For those adults who are 19 to 65, what we want to be clear is that you can get a shot in the state of Connecticut. If you have a condition that certainly makes you more susceptible, we obviously would say that that is something you absolutely should do.
The state insurance department says insurance companies are required to cover the vaccine as they normally would. WTIC News Time is 3:04 from the WTIC 24-hour traffic network. We got delays beginning to build both the east and westbound sides of 84 in East Hartford. Delays begin at exit 55 and extend to exit 45. Also, we've got volume delays.
Country was found.
Westbound side, or I beg your pardon, the eastbound side from 53 to 42. Road work continues in Middletown, 91 north between exits 20 and 24. Left lane repair work there. Let's check in with the WTIC Weather Center for a look at the forecast.
Mostly sunny and comfortably warm for the rest of this afternoon. We'll head up to a high of right around 80 degrees. Then mainly cleared tonight, low 56. We do have another sunny and nice day ahead of us for tomorrow with a high of 76 degrees. Clear skies tomorrow night, low 55. As we head into Saturday, a beautiful start to the weekend ahead of us with times of clouds and sunshine. The high Saturday, 77. And as we head into Sunday, clouds and even a few peaks of sunshine. There will be a shower around in the afternoon. High Sunday, 79. The warm weather will stick around into the start of next work week. For Monday, partly sunny with a passing shower, high up to 80. And sunshine and a few clouds on Tuesday. A dry day for Tuesday with a high again of up to 80. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
All right, 78 and sunny right now in Hartford. Wall Street, the Dow up 587 points today. The Nasdaq's ahead 158, and the S&P is up 53. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Life unfolds in ways you can never quite expect. A divorce, a death in the family, a personal injury. Each time you are left searching for someone new to trust. But what if you had a full-service law firm that knows you and a firm that can represent all your legal needs? With BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a full-service law firm. Visit bpslawyers.com. BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life. Proud full-service law partner of Yukon Athletics. Nick Payne-Dearest is responsible for the content of this ad.
At Ayala Home Services, we handle hundreds of water heater issues a year. We know how much of an inconvenience no hot water is, and with our fully stocked trucks and warehouse, you can get your hot water back as soon as the same day. Contact the trusted professionals at Ayala Home Services when you call, click, or text today and say hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P10277688, S1041347, D10401465, S33086699, SM3004646, E1185643.
Men, here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues,
Yes, sir.
outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be. Maybe even your sex drive is off. And if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Northeast Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an improved sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-56. That's 800-930-5956. or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you, including our new office in Warwick, Rhode Island.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
By the way, if you want to watch the program online, you can always go to reasoontheradio.com, and you can, of course, go to Facebook or X to watch the program. I specifically grabbed this shirt last night to wear on the show today because I noticed Charlie Kirk yesterday was wearing a shirt that said freedom, and I knew I had a shirt similar to it, and I thought it was appropriate to wear this shirt, and my shirt reads "Got Freedom." And this is a question that we have to ask each other. You know, do we have freedom? Mike Rowe said something I thought was absolutely a Mike Rowe thing to say. He said, I feel like the First Amendment got killed yesterday. And he's so right, so appropriate. I'll get to the phone calls again. This was the bit I wanted to play about Charlie Kirk and that recall, that dedication to memory, knowing what he's talking about when asked a question on the fly about our Constitution.
Our country was founded on common law because the Declaration only refers to God 4 times and the Constitution doesn't refer to God at all. And it only articulates the structure of government.
So first of all, remember that we were a collection of states and colonies, and you need to read the state constitutions before anything else. 9 out of 13 of the original states required you to be a Bible-believing Christian to serve in government at the time of the founding. All 13 out of 13 required a declaration of faith. 9 out of 13 required you to be a Protestant, except Maryland, which was Catholic, which still required a declaration of faith. Almost every single one of the original state constitutions, Pennsylvania included, they had, I profess Lord and Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior in the original state constitutions. You remember, we're a collection of states before that. Secondly, 55 out of 56 of the original signers of the Declaration were Bible-believing, church-attending Christians. So common law is inherited from Blackstone, who was Christian. A common law is an outgrowth of the scriptures. So let's go to 3 principles of common law: presumption of innocence, due process, and jury of your peers. All 3 are biblical principles, wrapped into the ultimate biblical principle that you shall not favor justice if you are rich or poor, which is in Leviticus 19, right before the most famous part of Leviticus 19, which is that you should love your neighbor as yourself. But before that is that in the administration of justice, you shall not favor the rich or the poor, which is the idea of blind justice. We get that in the West, which is incorporated also in the New Testament ideal. Neither slave nor Greek nor Jew, you're all one in Jesus Christ, which we get the idea of human equality. These are all biblical ideas. They're not Enlightenment ideas, which is they kind of get conflated at the time. But more importantly than that, they say that God was only mentioned 4 times in the Declaration of Independence. Well, that's a big deal, okay? Laws of nature and nature's God. The last paragraph of the Declaration reads as a prayer. It says, we appeal to the supreme judge of the universe. Who's the judge of the universe? Jesus Christ, as it says in Revelation, that Jesus will judge the earth on his throne.
That's how all hate speech. You think about that. You think about that. And when you hear that, I want you to also listen to this, because I really do believe that this is true. Some random kid on TikTok said this.
As a registered Democrat, all I have to say is the Charlie Kirk shooting just proves that we are the worst, man. My party is the worst. I got people celebrating, hoping that he dies. Are we for real right now? Where's the empathy? Where's the respect, man? It's disgusting. It's disgusting, truly. And the fact of the matter is this: he was a father, and whether or not I agree with his political opinions, all he truly wanted to do at the core was see this country be the best. And I can respect that. And to see people just be blatantly disgusting, man, we're the worst, man. We're horrible.
That's a Democrat, young kid. Now, reason why I played that is because if you follow me on Facebook, you probably noticed 2 posts that I put. One yesterday and another today. And I only posted it because I'm always interested in language, in the language that people use. And in particular, on the left, there were some people who said, I don't agree with him, but he didn't deserve to die. So it made me pose a question. What did he deserve? There's so many people always talking about what people deserve. So omnipotent. They talk about what people deserve. He doesn't deserve $1 billion. He doesn't deserve privilege. He doesn't deserve rent. He doesn't deserve a business. He doesn't. They always doling it out. They have been the deciders. So when saying this about Charlie Kirk, I didn't agree with him, but he didn't deserve to die. Prompted the most obvious question. Then what did he deserve? And people, those you know, who call this very program, started posting things he said. And I kept prodding them. That's not the question. If he didn't deserve to die, what did he deserve? But he said this. I get it. What did he deserve? You broached it. He didn't deserve to die. What did he deserve? Why is that so difficult to answer? Why isn't it something like, well, he deserved to be deplatformed, which one person did write on my post. He deserved to have his speech silenced. But then again, that was the point. He deserved to be silenced. When you really put them up against it, right, their ideals, what did he deserve? If he didn't deserve to die, what did he deserve? He disagreed with you. He said awful, vile things, which you cannot stop telling me. All you did when you posted it, every person who disagreed with him just kept posting what he said, as if to suggest that having thought it was criminal. So let me break it down to you. Forget about 1984. This isn't about that. This is about what I told you a long time ago. I've been preaching it for over 22 years. And I'll say it again. When you make it permissible to tell people they're not allowed to speak, be careful what you are asking for. They called it hate speech for a reason. Hate speech is called hate speech for justification for action, imprisonment, or death. So when you ask someone, what did he deserve? They should be able to answer it outright. Well, I don't know what he deserved. Or they'll tell you. But if they have to keep repeating, but he said this, okay, he said it. Yes, you disagree with it. Then what did he deserve for those comments? What do I deserve for my comments? What do I deserve for my beliefs? What do I deserve for my point of view? How should I be dealt with? Is a fair question. Do I deserve to die? And if I don't, what do I deserve? You, the guys that are handing out desserts. Tell me what I deserve. You should have enough backbone to do that. Do not hide your hand after throwing the stone. It's a dialogue for a reason. And when you thought you were shutting someone up, you only raised voices. And think about that. The original behavior was to be angry, to get incited, to yell, to scream, and to threaten. It advanced nothing. And then you go to ultimate route, and the person, I'm not saying you, but the person in this case has to take someone's life. And in the end, you actually think that you simmer things down or you cause people to go into hiding? When the reverse happens, someone's got to ask you, and I would go up to this individual and ask them while they were sitting on death row, which we understand is going to happen to this individual should he be caught. They will bring him to Utah, and they will execute him. But if I were to ever get an opportunity to ask this individual, I would ask them, what now? Now that an entire country has been galvanized around the man that you assassinated, what now? Did it work? The answer is an obvious no. And that's what makes all the laughter and the humor and the joking around online even more pitiful. They're celebrating an uprising. They are celebrating people who have been energized by Charlie Kirk, and those who didn't like him before, now who see an injustice in his execution, who are now echoing his sentiment. And that is dialogue. There are more of him today than those who are mocking and laughing. Who would want to join that group? I know a lot of people want to believe that that's where we are in our society, that people would openly run towards the mockers and the laughers. We're not there yet. I know you think we're close. Call me naive, call me optimistic, but I know it. In my heart, I know it. And let me explain why. And I'll make this very, very clear. Okay? If Charlie Kirk had no influence, the mockers wouldn't exist. Do you understand that? His relevance would never reach their phones, their screens, their computers, their TikTok, their Facebook, their Instagram, their X. It would never reach them. Their mockery is because Charlie Kirk was influential. I used to say this all the time. Why would I draw attention to somebody who has nothing to offer? Why would I care about somebody who is absolutely irrelevant? Why would I give them relevance? They already are irrelevant. I would allow them to die in obscurity. And if Charlie Kirk meant nothing, these people wouldn't be running around getting themselves on every little quick screen that they could. Ah, ha, 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 ha. What are they doing? They are showing Charlie Kirk's relevance, even if to mock it. It was the same with JFK. People were running around thinking that their lives were better off that he had been removed from the conversation because they had put all their stock in him. Even to hate him deified him to them. He was a weapon. He was a weapon against what they believed. He was a threat. You don't pay attention to things that are non-threats. If you put all your energy into that, if you're trying so hard to be recognized for that, you are only exposing your weakness. When you say, as I did yesterday, and I expressed it over and over again, why are people saying, if it weren't for Donald Trump, this wouldn't be happening? No. No. You're saying Donald Trump is the reason why you get to behave in the way that you want to behave. It's about you. You needed an excuse. Let me illustrate it for you. I'm a really evil person. I wish I could lash out in evil ways, but I must be provoked. Hey, Donald Trump! Now I can say evil things. Let's see the evil thing I can say about people who support him. Hey, why are you saying those evil things? Because Trump is evil. Oh, okay. I guess he's giving you license to be evil then. Yes, that's it. If he were a good person, then I would be a good person too. If Donald Trump said nice things, I would be influenced to be nice as well. Yes, that's right. That's the whole thing. I literally gauge my behavior based upon what Donald Trump does. He's bad, I'm bad. Please tell me. I mean, I know there's a lot of children out there, but come on, tell me it isn't true. Tell me it isn't true. You don't even know the man. He just exists. If you really think about it, he just exists. He's not in your world. He doesn't pay your rent. He doesn't stop you from paying your rent. He makes no indelible mark on in your life on a day-to-day basis, nor does he have millions of people. But you need an excuse because deep down, whatever's bubbling up inside you, you need to get it out. I used to say this, and I've said it before, money doesn't change you. It just makes you more of what you already are. Donald Trump doesn't change you. He's just allowed you to be more of what you already are. He's your excuse. And so was Charlie Kirk. I know you don't see it that way, but it is undeniable. Because if it weren't, you'd never mention his name. You'd just be who you are. Do you understand? If it weren't true, you'd just be you. You wouldn't need Trump. You wouldn't need Charlie Kirk. That's the point I'm making here. What's going on, Fred?
Hey, well, I have some 9/11 smack. Hold on, let me lose the echo. Yeah, so I have a theory about why Building 7 came down. It was hit by an invisible plane.
Why are we going down? I'm going to talk about September 11th on the other side of the show. But are we going to still talk about conspiracy theories, or can't we just celebrate the lives of those we lost? Because I've got a very, very good monologue about that.
Oh, my goodness, that's like anything but whodunit. That's
Well, we're 24 years in, and I think that we're almost there. We're finally going to. Although, did you watch Catherine Heritage's report on? Okay, you got to go see it. It's a great, great piece. They have declassified documents by the Trump administration that says that there were 2 spotters, for lack of a better word, who were placed in the United States as early as 1998. They were the welcoming party for the 9/11 attackers. And they were in the country as early as 1998.
Right. Let me drop you with this. That shot, the way they banked those planes in, that was some highfalutin flying. The best pilots in the world make that shot on like 1 out of 3 tries in simulation. That would be like getting a car up on 2 wheels and then hitting a telephone pole a half a mile yonder to your left.
I know. I heard it was an impossible shot. I thought about that on so many levels.
Allah Akbar, if God's on their side, I mean, we got no chance. And then also, jet fuel.
Mm-hmm.
There were also the cargo bays in all 3 planes, including the invisible one, were loaded with bump stocks. Once bump stocks are in the equation, all bets are off. I'll tell you what, and real quick.
Yes.
There's a Trump derangement disorder on display every Saturday here from 10 to 2, where some basically sweet old white people march around with silly signs. A few weeks ago, appeared, and now he's there on the regular, a young fellow with a punch a Nazi sign. So I was yelling about it last time, that it was a call to action, and they didn't want to hear it. It was like a devil.
Well, I don't,
so
yeah.
This week, yes.
You're 100% right. This so-called punch a Nazi thing is exactly the point I'm saying about hate speech, right? It's like it's giving you license to act in a violent way. It's like, but he's a Nazi. I'm
going to take him to task, and my girl Jennifer is going to, if she possibly can, show up and film it and interview me. I'm going to show up with a sign that says punch a Nazi, then cut his throat.
Oh, come on. Don't. I can't allow it. I can't. Fred, got it. Nope. Sorry. Once we start doing all that, can't do it. And again, I try very, very hard, folks, to let everybody recognize this is always about peace. I've never heard anybody. Have you ever heard me do this? I'm hoping that people do. I always tell people to think. It ain't illegal yet. You got to think. Take a beat. That's my mantra. Take a beat. I don't want anybody ever getting the impression that I condone that. I don't condone violence. Can't do it. Okay? We got to take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views. We'll take your phone calls as well. So stand by, everybody. It's Reese on the Radio, NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Every week on the Moth Podcast, we share stories that are funny, strange, heartbreaking, and above all, true.
I myself have been married for 56 years. Unfortunately, to 4 different women.
It turns out the people I was looking for all my life is what you people would call nerds.
Follow and listen to The Moth on the free Odyssey app or wherever wherever you get your podcasts.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that say?
Thank you, Nick.
.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
And now, a WTIC news update.
78 degrees at 3:30. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. An update on the investigation into the murder of Charlie Kirk. The FBI has released surveillance video stills of a person of interest, white male seen in dark clothing wearing sunglasses. They say he's college-aged. In order to blend in with the crowd that Kirk was addressing, he leapt from the roof of the building where the shots were fired. Authorities believe they have the murder weapon. Anyone with any information is being asked to contact local and state authorities and federal authorities there as well. President Trump paid tribute to Kirk during a memorial service today for 9/11 victims at the Pentagon. The president said that he was awarding Kirk a posthumous Presidential Medal of Freedom. And ceremonies across the state today, marking 24 years since the attacks. In Meriden this morning, there was the raising of a flag to half-staff that flew over the rubble of the World Trade Center in the days after the attacks. 161 people with ties to Connecticut died that day. State Attorney General William Tong backing the governor's effort to keep the WNBA's son in Connecticut. Tong is opening an inquiry into how the league is reportedly blocking the potential sale of the team. CDC trying to limit public access to the COVID vaccine. Governor Lamont says he is protecting that access in Connecticut.
As Democrats,
the state says all residents can get the
big
shot
difference
despite the Fed's
between who we are as Democrats and what the other side, the extremists, the MAGA extremists, represent. Century after century, we've kept this democracy thing going. But now, perhaps, for the first and only time since the Civil War, all of those values, all of those ideas, all of those institutions are under assault. This moment requires leadership that brings the American.
Emails Mandelson sent to Epstein. WTIC News Time is 3:32. Let's check in with the WTIC Weather Center for a look at the forecast.
Well, as we head through the rest of this afternoon, it will be mostly sunny and comfortably warm across the area. We'll head up to a high temperature of right around 80 degrees. And mainly clear tonight, low 56. We do have another sunny and nice day in store for tomorrow with a high up to 76. Clear skies for tomorrow night, low 55. And as we head into Saturday, a beautiful start to the weekend ahead of us with a mix of clouds and sunshine, and high Saturday into the upper 70s. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
All right, we've got sunny skies out there now. 78 degrees Half hour before the close, the market up over the Dow up over 600 points. Nasdaq's up 169 and the S&P is up 57. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Life is short, and if we spend our time suffering with pain and it takes away our joy, that's not a very good way to live.
He's right. It's hard to be happy when you're in constant pain. QC Kinetics patient Chad admits the chronic pain in his knee really robbed his quality of life.
When I was going to the traditional doctor and getting the pain pills, my smile wasn't as big as it usually is. Going to my high school reunion on crutches, it was awful.
But then Chad visited QC Kinetics. He experienced the real power behind natural regenerative treatments. Using healing properties from his own body, QC Kinetics was able to restore and repair damaged tissue, finally giving Chad lasting relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime.
And I'm feeling on top of the world because of QC Kinetics.
Learn how advanced regenerative medicine can help your body heal itself at QC Kinetics. Call now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
The holidays are just around the corner, so now's the perfect time to book your appointment with Cristino Kitchens. Whether you're preparing for festive gatherings or simply want a fresh new look, a stunning kitchen or bathroom remodel is the way to go. Cristino Kitchens in Glastonbury is a locally owned business with over 35 years of experience, ready to turn your space into a stylish sanctuary. Our expert team will guide you through every step, ensuring your project is completed with precision and care. Visit CristinoKitchens.com today.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath. You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm? Totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text SAVVY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text SAVVY to 42424. That's SAVVY to 42424.
I'm Ed Evans, we're Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Your home equity could vanish almost overnight, stolen by scammers who forge a deed and transfer it out of your name. The FBI calls it house stealing, and the worst part is you may not know it until it's too late. Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO. 30-day free trial, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now. Promo code RADIO.
Hey, did you hear? It's our birthday, 100 years. Did you happen to get us a present?
We're back. It's Reese on the Radio, NewsTalk 1080, WTIC, and we'll get back to the phones in a quick second. Thank you, John Beckman. Said, let Roseanne know that your tone is great today. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I've been through this before, where something tragic has happened. I kind of feel like my career has always been surrounded by that. And again, here it is, September 11th. It is where I started my career. My first broadcast day is September 11th, 24 years ago today. A very somber anniversary in radio. And I remember how serious and the tone that I had. And again, as I said before, one of the things that I still regret, and it is the ground, the foundation of what I do, is the mistake that I made on that day, day one, when I truly believed those towers would not come down, and here we are, you know? And it eats me alive every day, thinking about it. When I do, I kind of cringe. It's like, that's out there, you know? So I think about it. In about 20 minutes, we're going to speak to Patrick Hicks, speaking of September 11th. If you find him on Instagram, if you're on Instagram, I'm going to find out if he has other platforms you can watch this. I hope he does. But it's called Patrick Hicks Music Stories on Instagram. And he does these stories that are like behind the music. And some of them are, some very, still photographs of the artists. And he breaks down their career from the beginning to where they are now. And it's almost like a mystery tour in a weird way. But I was so captivated by it. I just watched one by accident. And I sent him a message and I was like, dude, I would love to have you on the show because music is a real huge part of the listener base of this show. As you all recognize, when Chris, my best friend, showed up to the show and Craig in a car and he were back and forth and everybody else was talking about so many amazing albums. And music is such a big part of this show. I wanted to bring him on because he did this piece about 9/11 music, September 11th music that was banned. And he also reminded me in a video that's out now about the movie Glitter and the album Glitter that was released 24 years ago today by Mariah Carey, and with an accompanying movie called Glitter that I went to the premiere of on the Thursday after September 11th. So it would have been the 14th, the 13th. Yeah, the 13th of September. And I watched that movie, and I've got so many great stories to tell about that. So when Patrick Hicks comes on the program, we'll talk a little bit about that and some other songs that were banned on September 11th. Now let's get to the phones. Simsbury Joe is back, who I know has probably got some very intense insight into all of this, because from what we're learning about the shooter and what we have as confirmation is that the shooter put engravings or markings on the rifle that had transgenderism and anti-fascism notes on it.
Why would you ever think that I would have a strong opinion on that? So I do, but let me mention one other thing first, because today's a day where you're still shell-shocked. Bad choice of words, I apologize.
Yeah.
But why? And no one would have expected a shooter.
Right.
But when you have 3,000 students in an amphitheater type setting,
mm-hmm.
why would you not have one law enforcement person up on a roof somewhere so they could see things like fights starting, protests getting too violent? Why did they not do that? I don't like having to blame people,
right?
But come on.
Well, can I tell you what I think as far as, and again, this is not concrete. I get where you're coming from, and you're not victim blaming. I know people are going to say, are you victim blaming? No, you're not doing that. You're just saying, why not? And I think the governor of Utah said it best. Spencer Cox said that this was, well, it wasn't him. I apologize. It was one of the special officers or the special agents said that this campus had, Charlie Kirk there before, and to some degree, they were complacent because it's a welcoming school to Charlie Kirk's values. So this was where sort of the ball drop was that being comfortable thinking this would be the last place. It's Utah. Like, a lot of people were, are kind of looking at it that way. But I get your point. It's because it is Charlie Kirk, and with a heightened sort of sensitivity, it would be incumbent on you to at least put in a little bit of security precautions.
And it wouldn't even be related even 1% to the possibility of a shooter.
Right.
It's just related to keeping an eye on the crowd from a perch.
Right.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
So I'm bothered by that.
And you also have to ask yourself whether or not there had been minds changed or at least influenced by the lack of security and protocol in the July 13th shooting of President Donald Trump. Right? It's because there were so many lacks there that every measure, when you had a political event such as this, that would be the template that you didn't want to. Because again, this is, if you think about it, this is a carbon copy of that exact moment.
Well, speaking of a template, maybe I can create a new template here. We don't really get many conservative speakers or conservative politicians in the state of Connecticut that are like a level of Donald Trump or J.D. Vance or anything. But rather than people going to go see them speak, maybe we can start getting some people that decide I'm going to go, but I'm going to stay 200 to 400 or 500 yards out, and I'm going to be like a patriot, and I'm just going to walk around and see if I see anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's troublesome. But back to the whole transgender thing. So yes, you accurately represented exactly what they have found. We don't know for sure, if he's setting up something. So I'm going to preface what I'm going to say based on that. But I have, for those that have not heard me before, I have been calling in, talking about the threat from transgenders and the Zizian death cult, other transgenders who have executed people, the transgender argument that occurred a week or two ago, having to do with people saying, and this is what I think Charlie Kirk was going to be probably saying yesterday, was the fact that you have, yes, many more mass shootings done by other people and other groups, but you only have one group going after Christian children. And if this guy is a trans, he doesn't look trans in the picture, but he's a trans supporter. Let's add another Christian to that. And that is where we need, if it in fact comes out to be that, and I'll say if in big capital letters, if in fact it comes out to be that, again, when are we going to stop being Christian and turning the other cheek and taking on the issue the way the issue needs to be taken on?
I've
said before, so people don't think it's violence. It is open up hospitals, tax us to pay for these hospitals if need be, take the USAID money that was saved, put it in the hospitals, and get every single trans person into it because it's severe mental illness, whether they are violent or not.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that this will not be the last trans person who will kill children or a major conservative figure.
Because again, and you're 100% right on the level of the concern that needs to go. I don't expect that sort of the turning the other cheek to ever change, because I believe as a true Christian, you don't change your stripes, so to speak. But I get your point to where we have to start addressing it because they have found an enemy, these Zizians and these people who wish to lash out physically towards people in the Christian faith. Because that in and of itself, they're finding an enemy in the most vulnerable. Because in one breath, you can say a couple of weeks ago, why did they go after children who were praying? And then you get Charlie Kirk, and if you were to find out that this individual is a supporter of the trans movement, you say, okay, that tracks. Because in one level, you go, and what do you do in those situations, right? Do you take every situation and go, if you are Christian, if you are prominent, if you are a child, we have to protect those people as a protected class. I'm with you. This country in the last 10, 15 years has never had a problem with calling somebody a protected class. So I don't mind adding another group to that label.
Let me just finish with this so you could get to some other callers, because it just popped in my mind as you were talking. So I am 100% certain that we have not seen the last of trans violence at a very high, very bad level. In the state of Connecticut, for those that don't know it, our legislature, with the support of the governor, does not allow people who are law-abiding, who have gun permits, to conceal carry in a place of worship. You are responsible to run. And one of these days it's going to happen, not just to children, but someone else in a place of worship. And at what point are we going to hold these Democrats responsible? Because now we know Christians are going to be under attack. When are we going to hold them personally responsible for not allowing people to protect themselves?
Yeah. They're going to have to. I think we're at that point. You're 100% right. Thank you, Joe. I'm going to take a break in a minute. But you got it, Brandon, as always. I got to send this message, if you don't mind. Just indulge me here. I've got to tell our guest. He thinks it's 4 o'clock Central Time. I'm like, no, in 20 minutes. In about 15 minutes. Okay. Right? Did I spell that right? 15 minutes. Yes, I did. All right. Make sure he gets that so he's not freaking out. I don't know why he thought Central Time, but it is now. Anyway, the state of Connecticut views any legally armed citizen an enemy of the state, Zach writes. I'm sure they do. They don't believe in the constitutional right to carry weapons in the Constitution state, oddly enough. Maybe that is the reason why they're trying to call it the pizza state. I forgot all about the Constitution. There are no details that have come up yet, but we are watching them very close. We are going, again, we're going to have our guest on the program. That's Patrick Hicks of Patrick Hicks Music Stories, talking about music that was banned on September 11th, many that you may not remember. We'll talk about that very soon, so stand by for that. Also, we will talk more about Charlie Kirk and any developments that arise. I hope you folks caught the opening monologue today. If not, you could go to reasonthenradio.com, or later on, you can go to WTIC.com for that. We continue our conversation in a bit about Charlie Kirk, 9/11, and so much more. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Allergies to cats don't come from their hair. It's a protein called FeLD1 in their saliva. Cleaning helps, but that alone isn't enough. Packaging's cat allergen-reducing supplement neutralizes allergens at the source. Its whisker block proteins bind FeLD1 inside your cat's mouth before it ever makes you sneeze. Plus, it supports gut and immune health for lasting relief. Control allergies with confidence. Add Packagin to your cat's food daily. Packagin.com. PACAGEN.com.
The dog days of summer are fading quickly. Hurry to get this limited time preseason offer. Call ALO Home Services today and take advantage of their $99 heating system check special. Prevent costly and inconvenient breakdowns backed by a worry-free no breakdown guarantee. Call, click, or text today and say hello ALO, licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P1027768, S1041347, D1040145, S330869, SM3004646, E1185643.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day and nothing worked until Mark Patrick hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food, crazy, enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again. My blood pressure went down and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Join Mark Patrick Seminar's Early Bird Special, only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings.
That's right. Seminars Thursday, September 18th, Hilton Garden in Hartford North, Bradley International Airport in Windsor. Weight loss seminar 5:30. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Or Saturday, September 20th, Holiday Inn Express, Southington. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Register markpatrickseminars.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products or compounded drug It does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Yeah, I've got that picture for you that are just joining us. That picture right there is Charlie Kirk just moments before he was murdered, wearing the T-shirt Freedom, tossing out Make America Great Again hats, MAGA hats. And I wanted to wear this shirt, Got Freedom, because I've had it for a while. My wife gave me this shirt, and I thought it was appropriate because that's all he was fighting for everybody. And it's so overwhelming just everywhere I'm seeing all these people who are putting these statements out there and videos about him. I really want to say this. This is, for me, the thing that I found just so heartwarming. And if you didn't see it, and if you haven't seen it, please go look it up. It is so beautiful. Yankee Stadium put up a picture of Charlie Kirk and remembered him last night during the game. Lamar Jackson of the Baltimore Ravens talked about Charlie Kirk, talking about political speech and about how he was a man of God. Another NFL player from the Vikings, I think, put up money for the children, for their education. And many others from the football world. I don't even know if Charlie Kirk was a football guy. Maybe he was. But the overwhelming Christian community in the NFL and in sports who have come out that you never knew, who were so quiet, so silent, about that has come out of the woodworks to celebrate his life. That is so beautiful. It is incredible to watch. I woke up this morning to all of those things on my feed, and I was so overwhelmed. So overwhelmed. And it's beautiful. It is. And like I said, I choose what I wish to embrace. Said it yesterday about my ex-wife. You can choose to be sad. You can choose to be angry. You can choose to be happy. I choose the latter. The word is not in prison, Tim. No one said you should imprison anyone. If you see it as a prison, a psych ward, if you see a psychiatric hospital as a prison, that's where the problem lies. That is the reason why people who are mentally unfit, and that is tough for you to hear, I know, because you've decided that because you don't think that they're mentally unfit, that you want them to roam free. Forget about how they harm themselves or others. You call it a prison, and because of that, you feel offended. No one cares anymore about your offense. You're standing up for people that you don't represent. This is like you would stand up for black folks. You ain't black. Mind your business. You ain't transgender. Mind your business. No one cares that you wish to stand up for them. There's nothing to do with you. Nothing. Take a beat. Play your role. Defend whatever you are that people offend. Let them defend themselves. They don't need you. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Well, our first check of weather and traffic. It's about that time. Let's get to Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, 91 southbound coming into Hartford, delays 34, down to 32 A and B. If you're traveling on the northbound side of 91, you're going to see some delays. Middletown into Cromwell from 20 up to 21. Again, a little slowed down by the Route 9 interchange after that good ride. Hartford up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up 56 Governor Street up to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound slows 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Bulkley Bridge. 2 westbounds tied up in East Hartford 1D up to the 84 West merge. Heading into Middletown, 9 northbound delays 22 up to the Aragodi Bridge. 9 northbound again slowing 34 in New Britain up to exit 36. 84 eastbound in Waterbury delays 17 to 18. And again, some slow traffic moving down by the 691 interchange in Cheshire. Westbound 84 tied up 26 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. And southbound on the Parkway, got some slow traffic 60 into the West Rock Tunnel. Northbound Parkway slowing 59 into the tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
This traffic report is being brought to you by Stu Leonard's Farm Fresh Foods. This week's Stu Leonard's app deals. Local New York State apples are just 99 cents a pound. You save $1. Plus, organic seedless red or green grapes are just $2.99 per pound. See more weekly deals at StuLeonards.com.
WTIC weather.
Well, as we head through the rest of this afternoon, it will be mostly sunny and comfortably warm across the area. We'll head up to a high temperature of right around 80 degrees. And mainly clear tonight, low 56. We do have another sunny and nice day in store for tomorrow, with a high up to 76. Clear skies for tomorrow night, low 55. And as we head into Saturday, a beautiful start to the weekend ahead of us with a mix of clouds and sunshine, and the high Saturday into the upper 70s. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. The latest on the investigation into the murder of Charlie Kirk. The FBI has released photos of a person of interest and is asking the public for tips. Correspondent Scott McFarland reports authorities think they have the murder weapon as well.
They describe a bolt-action high-powered rifle that they found that was ditched in the woods as the shooter made an escape from the roof, then through a neighborhood. A bolt-action rifle is one particularly popular with hunters who want to take one good single accurate shot from a long distance. In this case, they say the shooter was on the roof about 200 yards away, 2 football fields away, and fired one shot, hitting the target.
They say the suspect is college-aged and was able to blend in with the crowd and leapt from the roof of the building where the shot was fired in making his getaway. Wayne Unger is a professor at Quinnipiac University in Hamden, where he specializes in issues related to freedom of speech.
I encourage those who wish to speak their views to exercise their First Amendment rights, to do it in a respectful way, in a way in which recognizes kind of the humanistic values of every individual, and that is not dehumanizing.
Memorials today for the victims of the September 11th, 2001 terror attacks.
Sandy Waugh Bradshaw.
Marking 9/11 24 years later in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where Flight 93 crashed. Names of victims have been read aloud all morning at New York City's Ground Zero.
And that is correspondent Steve Cathan with that report. Some 9/11 families are optimistic justice may finally be served in the case against Saudi Arabia. Federal judge recently ruled a lawsuit against the kingdom can go forward, saying there's considerable evidence that the Saudis assisted the hijackers. Brent Eagleson of Middletown, whose father died on 9/11, says several presidential administrations and the FBI have withheld key evidence. He thanks Congress for helping the families make progress through a Justice Against Sponsors of Terrorism Act.
We wouldn't be where we are today. We wouldn't have our law JASTA. And if we never had our law JASTA, we wouldn't have found out all the information that our government knew about 9/11. I just wish that the executive branch and the administrative branches of our government would have the courage to do the right thing. Disclose the information, be honest with the families, and hold Saudi Arabia accountable.
With the federal government saying it's rolling back public access to the COVID vaccine, Governor Lamont is trying to make sure the shots remain available to all Connecticut residents who want them. His new executive actions say the vaccine remains available to all, despite the feds restricting eligibility to otherwise healthy adults from 18 to 65. Governor says the policy aligns with those of bordering states.
What I wanted to do was speak with one voice along with New York and Massachusetts, saying, this is our guidance, this is what I think you should do, these are ways I think you can get it done, and I think the National Pharmacy people are trying to get that balance now.
The state insurance department says insurance companies are required to cover the COVID vaccine as they normally would. And State Attorney General William Tong says the WNBA might be violating state and federal law in its handling of the potential sale of the Connecticut Sun. The league is reportedly blocking the sale to an owner that would keep the team in the state, so the AG is opening an inquiry asking the league to turn over key documents, including those regarding the team's value.
We can't lose the Sun. They belong to us. And I don't think the WNBA should take them away from us. And if they try, I'm going to fight. Yes, I use that word again. I'm going to fight as hard as I possibly can. And we're going to exhaust every option to keep them here.
Wall Street, the Dow up 600, over 600
Did
points.
anybody
NASDAQ
understand
down
what that
157, S&P up 55. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
1 minute.
Management.
Got it.
A dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which
Yes,
vaccines
sir.
you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
I am communicating with a new friend request, Karen D, because I saw that she had a picture with horses, and my wife is a big horse person. She was like, do you think when we go to Connecticut, I can ride a horse? And I was like, yes, sweetheart, I'm sure you can ride a horse. It's like a little kid. I see horses. Do you think I'll be able to ride a horse in Connecticut? Yes, you'll be able to ride a horse in Connecticut. I'll make sure of it. I've got a full flood of phone lines. Now, look, I got to be honest, folks. Unless you are willing to hang out for at least another half an hour to 40 minutes, okay? I'm going to say try back because we got a guest coming up in about 5 minutes or so. And he is actually, hold on there. He is getting on the line there. Just make sure that's him. Hold on. Yeah, he's calling all the way from California. That is Patrick Hicks from Patrick Hicks Music Stories on Instagram. We're going to talk to him about September 11th. He's in the music space, and he does a lot of research and stories about, artists and their beginnings, and it's really behind the music-y in a way, and I'm a big fan of that TV show. It's one of my favorite. One of my best, or I can say favorite behind the music was about Thin Lizzy. Still one of my favorites. I knew nothing about that band. I knew a couple of songs, but I'll never forget it. I couldn't leave the TV, even during the commercials. I wanted to catch every bit of it, and it made me a fan of the band. And Patrick Hicks does something very similar to that. And I watched one of his docs about Michael Bolton, and I, again, glued. And I'm rarely, because I'm got to, go through so much stuff. He kept my attention in that long video. And it was not short. It's a long video. But I had to know who the artist was in the end. And when I did, I was like, oh, man, And I am now, I have to admit, I'm a Michael Bolton fan because of Patrick Hicks, who joins us in a bit. So stand by. We'll get to him. Now let's get into the check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark. There you go.
Let's rock, baby.
It's such a great. Have you ever seen it? Have you ever seen the behind the scenes on them? It's so good. It's one of the best behind the musics ever made by an obscure band, about an obscure band. I'll never forget it.
This is a great song.
Yeah, it is a great song. Oh, and Michael Bolton, of course.
Sing it, Reese.
Not happening. I've got a tin voice, my friend.
Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, south on 91 delays approaching 33 down to 32 A and B. Again, down by exit 28. And some slow traffic as you move between exit 21 and 20 in Middletown, and another bump from 19 to 17 in Meriden. Northbound side of 91's a little slow getting by the Route 9 interchange in Cromwell. After that, good ride up in Hartford. Westbound 84 slows approaching the Bulkley Bridge up to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound locked up just after 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Bulkley Bridge. 2 westbound slowing 1D up to the 84 West Merge. 9 northbound slows 22 up to the Aragoni Bridge. If you're heading 9 northbound, some slow traffic by 36 in New Britain. 84 eastbound Waterbury tight 17 to 18. Again, slow traffic 26 down to the 691 interchange. Westbound 84 slows Cheshire 26 to 25A in Waterbury. And again, 22 to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. Southbound Parkway slowing by exit 60 into the West Rock Tunnel. Northbound Parkway tight 59 into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
Traffic brought to you by the Connecticut Police Chiefs Association. Before our children get to school, they're on the roads, on sidewalks, in crosswalks, riding bikes, and waiting for buses. So put away the distractions and slow down. School's in. Drive smart. A message from the Connecticut Police Chiefs Association and Connecticut DOT.
WTIC weather.
Well, as we head through the rest of this afternoon, it will be mostly sunny and comfortably warm across the area. We'll head up to a high of 80 degrees and remaining mainly clear tonight, low 56. We do have another nice and sunny day ahead of us for tomorrow, high up to 76 degrees. Then remaining clear tomorrow night, low 55. We do have a beautiful start to the weekend on Saturday. We'll see a mixture of clouds and sunshine with a high Saturday up to 77, clouds and even a few peaks of sunshine on Sunday. Could be a shower in the afternoon, but I think most spots end up dry. We'll have a high on Sunday up to 79. Right now it's 76 degrees in Bristol, 78 in Windsor Locks, and 78 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley at the WTIC Weather Center.
Looking to retire with confidence? Get the answers you need. Tune in to Wall Street Sweeper with Russ Hackman. Sunday mornings at 9:30 on NewsTalk WTIC AM. Strategies, insights, and smart retirement talk. Don't miss it.
It's summertime. If you're between the ages of 17 and 25, now's the time to check your wisdom teeth. Impacted wisdom teeth can cause a lot of unnecessary pain. So let Columbia Dental remove them sooner than later. Call 860-645-0111.
They say diamonds are forever, but forever's a long time, especially when you're waiting for a plumber. So join Joe the Plumber's Diamond Club. Diamond Club members get front-of-the-line service, plus discounts and reduced fees. Join the Diamond Club today at calljoetheplumber.com.
Carbone's Kitchen is now open for lunch at noon. Sink your teeth into the Franklin Ave Chicken Panini with grilled chicken, pesto, and fresh mozzarella on toasted sourdough. Or savor our short rib grilled cheese with tender short rib, melty fontina, and garlic aioli. For a lighter option, try our salmon, tenderloin, or chicken with choice of 2 fresh sides. And of course, all our pasta is made fresh daily on our machine imported from Italy. Carbone's Kitchen. Italian comfort reimagined. And now Carbone's Prime is open for lunch too. See our menus at carboneskitchen.com.
Actual price will depend on prescription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Let's get into it. Our guest, it's his first time on the program and introduced to this audience. I don't know if anybody here is even familiar with you, Patrick Hicks, but I just want to tell you that I am glad that you are here, and I'm going to give you a little round of applause if I can. For me, that's when I play the applause, that means that I give you the highest praise. And let me tell you why.
Oh, wow.
Because, and I'm a nobody in all of this, but I want to tell you why I give you the highest praise. And I said it earlier, and I know you heard it, is that in this fast track of, just scrolling through your phone, it is hard to gather someone's attention. But you didn't care. You still did this material in the long form, where it's minutes long, and you tell the whole story, and it's compelling. As I said, like the two things that I watched of yours recently, the thing that caught me off guard was the story of Michael Bolton, which was amazing. And just recently, you did two videos that I've absolutely loved, and it's the reason why you're here. You talked about the banned songs of 9/11, and then you did something about Mariah Carey, which I've forgotten about. Mariah Carey's Glitter album that was released on September 11th, 2001. I'll get into the Mariah Carey thing later because that's an interesting story, and it involves Michael Musto of The Village Voice. Do you know anything about that guy?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I will tell you about him. He's a movie critic and a culture critic from The Village Voice in New York about that movie Glitter. But I want to talk about the banned music of 9/11, which is such a smart video to do because a lot of people 24 years later have forgotten these stories. And tell me a little bit about why you chose, of course, other than 9/11, but why did you choose these banned songs to put a spotlight on them? Did you think they were still relevant today?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think I had been thinking about them maybe like a year ago. I did a long piece on System of a Down on my podcast, and they had talked about just kind of the irony of they're on this list of banned songs when their album is literally the #1 album in the country. So that they're out there, they have a new album, they're trying to promote it, and the lead single is not being played on the radio because of this list. So it was kind of in my mind, and now at the anniversary of 9/11, I just thought that'd be an interesting thing to revisit.
It was so, because there were so many songs that I remember, and if I could give you a little bit that you probably missed it, but probably for good reason, because it's just like it's sort of like an aside, so to speak. I'll never forget a day after 9/11, I was working at Hot 97, the #1 hip hop station in New York. That's where I got my start. And we would play back in the school hip hop. And in 1994, the first single from the first album by Biggie Smalls, the Notorious B.I.G., was a song called Juicy. And there is a line in the song, famously, that we had to edit 2 days after. And he says the line, blow up like the World Trade. But he was referring to the 1993 attack. And after September 11th, they could no longer play that song. In fact, I don't think a hip-hop station, when they play that, ever allows those words to ever go on the air. And that became sort of the template for a lot of hip-hop music. Anything that would reference things like that, they started editing them out. Violence was a huge thing that started being edited out because of September 11th.
Yeah, and that one is so weird because I think a lot of people didn't really remember the first attack on the World Trade Center. So yeah, the fact that he had that line is kind of crazy. Here in Chicago, they do still play that song on the radio all the time. But,
yes.
It took us a long time to kind of get back to normal after those events and everybody hypersensitive. So, I think that list is so fascinating of these songs, the connections people made.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about a couple of those songs. We're on the phone with Patrick Hicks of Patrick Hicks Music Stories. You can find him on Instagram. Tell me a couple of the songs and the groups that are on this band list that many might remember, or sort of like maybe they'll sort of be surprised by.
Yeah, I mean the list was so weird because it was trying to get any song, obviously, that had anything to do with like airplanes or, you know,
Right.
jets. So there's like everything from Red Hot Chili Peppers, this aeroplane, to like Peter, Paul, and Mary's leaving on a jet plane. Like anything to do with air, sky. Okay, that kind of makes sense.
Right.
There's a lot of like rock and new metal on the list. So like one of the bands that was really affected was Drowning Pool, who had the song Bodies.
Right.
Let the bodies hit the floor. That's obviously got to go. But, you know, that song has like kind of just come out. That was like their big breakthrough single. So,
And again, it had huge success thereafter, even in the TikTok music, because, I mean, in the TikTok era, because that song has had a sort of reemergence, if you will.
I mean, that one, yeah, it's kind of had staying power, but I think the band kind of feels like their follow-up singles didn't do as well. Like they felt like there was stigma, you know, against them for that. But so those ones kind of make sense. Like, okay, maybe nobody wants to hear, you know, a aggressive song like that.
Right.
But then there were songs that were too happy. So like Louis Armstrong's "What a Wonderful World" is on the list.
Wow.
Like "Dancing in the Street" is on the list. And the list was also weird because it was not comprehensive. So it was like the original Martha and the Vandellas version banned, but the like Mick Jagger, David Bowie cover, that was okay. It was a very weird list. But I mean, it was also, we shouldn't use the word banned. I mean, this was like a memo from Clear Channel that was suggestions to not play, but definitely created a chilling effect.
Yeah, because people in getting that list, and again, this is a good point, because again, I didn't work for that company even then. I was with another organization, but we had to take heed. You know, even though they were giving out that list to everyone, I think everyone in the industry of radio was sort of, you know, they had all sort of, it was like they had all incorporated was it the 7 dirty words you can't say on radio? You know, the George Carlin thing, right? It was the, you know, you say banned, but I think technically that's what it was. They were suggestions not to play on the air, but we've always sort of, you know, because of that sort of fear that we were going to be, I don't want to say canceled, but we would be reprimanded for doing so. We sort of took it as a ban on our own by not playing some of those songs. Let me get into the glitter thing, because that was probably the biggest artist of the time. You just did a recent video about that. Mariah Carey has this new album. It is the first album on Virgin Records after she's done with her husband Tommy Mottola's contract. She had one final album to do with him. She had done that. This was her new venture. She had $100 million on the line, and her first venture on her own with this $100 million deal is an album called Glitter with an accompanying, I hate that word, movie that went with it. I saw the premiere 2 days after September 11th, and pretty much the album was panned. Tell me a little bit about how this whole thing played out.
Yeah, I mean, this is just such a kind of perfect storm of, you know, bad things happening for Mariah.
Yeah.
She's having like a very kind of public mental health crisis.
Yeah.
Which, you know, back then, I mean, in 2001, nobody really identified that. I mean, everybody's just kind of like, oh, she's crazy. And also, if you look at the footage, it's like, she really wasn't that crazy. Like, she went on TRL and she, like, took off
her
a
top
baggy shirt and had a shirt on underneath. And everybody was like, oh, my gosh, she's stripping on TV. And so
Yes.
it's a little bit overblown. But she definitely, like, admits, like, she was struggling mentally. She was very exhausted. So she's got all that. And then, like you said, she had just gone through this divorce a couple of years ago with Tommy Mottola. But Tommy Mottola was not only her ex-husband, he was also the CEO of Sony,
right,
which was the parent company of her former record label and the parent company of the production company that was putting out the movie Glitter.
Right.
So there's all these kind of like she called it an incestuous situation. There's all he has his fingers in all these pies. And so according to Mariah and like some other sources, he did all these things to sabotage the soundtrack and the movie. So
Right.
famously, her first single, the song called Lover Boy, they had cleared this particular sample, this song called Firecracker from the 70s, and it was built around that, and it tied in with the theme of the movie, and it was like going to be perfect. Tommy Mottola found out and rushed another song to have the same sample. So Jennifer
Wow.
Lopez was on his record label.
Right.
So he made them use that Firecracker sample to in a Jennifer Lopez song that he rushed out before Mariah's song could come out.
Then he went to the rapper Ja Rule, who he knew was going to be on the Glitter soundtrack.
Yep.
Him and Mariah had done a song together. He went to Ja Rule's management and was like, I want you to make a song that sounds like a Mariah song, but make it, with Jennifer Lopez.
And it was called I'm Real.
I'm Real.
Yep.
I'm Real, yeah. Which, becomes this huge hit. It's actually number one the week of 9/11. It's the number one song on the Hot 100. So it's kind of an extra.
Patrick, let me tell
Mariah.
you a couple of stories about that and how I'm somewhat related I can literally intertwine myself into both of those stories.
Yes, please.
One.
Please
So let's go backwards. I want to start from the end and then go back to the beginning about this whole thing with Mariah Carey and Jennifer Lopez. So it's a little crazy in September 11th. So as you said, Tommy Mottola has Ja Rule do this song with Jennifer Lopez called I'm Real. Well, my first ever public outing is outside of the Today Show protesting Jennifer Lopez and that song when I worked for Hot 97. Why were we protesting that song? Because that is the famous song where Jennifer Lopez got into trouble for using the N-word in the song with Ja Rule about her breakup with P. Diddy. So I was at the Today Show, and I'm also in the Washington Post. There's an article. I have the picture somewhere. I'll show someone I look ridiculous. But I'm in that poster. Now, to go backwards to the Mariah Carey part, I went to go see the premiere of Glitter. And we were in there, and I was sitting behind Michael Musto. You don't know him, but he was a big, big guy in New York from the Village Voice, a critic, a culture critic. And he wore these big black glasses. If you look him up, you'll know exactly who he is. Very famous in the New York hipster scene. Well, anyway, we're watching that movie, and it is being panned inside the theater at this premiere. It was god-awful. And by the way, if you've never seen it, don't bother. It's really bad. But there is one saving...
It's been so bad, it's funny.
Yeah, exactly. We were laughing. It was so bad, we were laughing in the theater. But there was one moment that happened, and I would only tell people to see it for this one scene. In the movie, during a B-roll in the middle of the film, they captured the World Trade Center intact in the movie.
Yeah.
And the whole audience said, "Ah," and everybody applauded. It was the only saving grace in that movie. And we were all touched. A lot of people cried because they saw it. And it was like, while we were laughing, it sort of brought us back to September 11th. We saw the World Trade Center. We were like, oh, and then we went back to the sort of mocking of the film. But I'll never forget that. Yeah. It was an absolute tragedy, aside from September 11th, of course. But for her career, people thought she would not recover, interestingly enough.
Yeah, I mean, so to go to the movie a little bit, the screenwriter, Kate Lanier, has given interviews, and she's a really accomplished screenwriter. She wrote, like, What's Love Got to Do with It and Set It Off, like, good movies. And she was basically like, we got so many notes from the studio because Tommy Mottola was running Sony that they gutted the whole movie.
Yeah.
And who knows, like, it would have been good
But it was the acting and everything was just god awful. Hey, before we get out of here, Patrick Hicks, by the way, go to if you're on Instagram, go to Patrick Hicks Music Stories on Instagram to watch these videos and so much more. That's so well done and brilliant. Is there another place that people can watch you? Are you on YouTube? Any other social media sites?
Yeah, well, I'm on everywhere: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Substack. I'm, like you said, I'm doing a whole series this week. It's all about albums released on 9/11. So there is Glitter. There's also Jay-Z's The Blueprint. There's Bob Dylan's Love and Theft is coming out tomorrow.
That's right.
So it's a whole series. You can watch it in parts on Instagram and in full on YouTube or Substack.
Patrick, I got to tell you, man, I don't know if that was your intent, but there is a behind the music kind of theme to what you do. Maybe I'm the only person who likes that or loved that particular television show. But if that was your idea, you are spot on, and it's entertaining, it's informative. I've loved every bit of everything I've ever watched. I can't turn away, and I think you're so impressive in how you delivered it. You found that niche, man, and I'm so happy that you have. You've given me something entertaining to watch in a world that sometimes seems a little crazy, and I need a hobby.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Yeah, behind the music, big inspiration. I mean, I grew up watching that too. So, yeah, that's definitely the inspiration, but kind of evolved for modern times. A little bit shorter and, just the good parts.
Well, I appreciate you, Patrick Hicks, and I'm encouraging everyone to go check him out. Go watch his videos, especially those about 9/11. Some of the stories that, the so-called ban list, if you will surprise you. And again, that Bob Dylan one was a good one. I was like, Bob Dylan. I'll never forget that. I was like, Bob Dylan. I would almost assume he would be the good guy. Thank you again, Patrick. I appreciate you. We'll have you back, okay?
Yeah, I'd love to. Thanks so much.
No problem, sir. Thank you. Patrick Hicks, everybody, at Patrick Hicks Music Stories. Let's get another check of our weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon. If you are heading toward Hartford right now and you're on the westbound side of 84, delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush, 84 eastbound slowing about a mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel, a little tight again, 58 out to 59, and the 384 interchange. Southbound 91 slows 33 down to 32, again down by exit 28, and some more slow traffic as you move down into Meriden, 19 down to 17. Northbound 91's a little slow, 21 to 22, and the Route 9 interchange in Cromwell. After that, you're moving well up into Hartford. A little slow traffic again, 91 northbound, 35 to 36 in Windsor. 2 westbound slowing by 4A and Glastonbury, and again 1D up to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. 384 westbound, we've got some road work right now between exit 3 and 1A. That's taking out the left and center lanes there. So stay to the right to get around that a little bit easier. If you're traveling into Middletown, 9 northbound, slowing approaching Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. 9 north again, slowing up by 31 in Berlin, and again up by exit 36 in New Britain. 84 eastbound in Waterbury, tight 17 to 18. Again, 26 down to the 691 interchange. And westbound 84 slows from 23 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
This report is brought to you by Moderna.
Mnexspike COVID-19 vaccine mRNA by Moderna has arrived. To learn more and find it near you, visit mnexspike.com. That's MNEXSPIKE.com.
WTIC weather.
Well, as we head through the rest of this afternoon, it will be mostly sunny and comfortably warm across the area. We'll head up to a high temperature of right around 80 degrees. And mainly clear tonight, low 56. We do have another sunny and nice day in store for tomorrow, with a high up to 76. Clear skies for tomorrow night, low 55. And as we head into Saturday, a beautiful start to the weekend ahead of us with a mix of clouds and sunshine, and high Saturday into the upper 70s. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
4:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Ceremonies held across the country and the state today, marking 24 years since the September 11th, 2001 terror attacks. Names of the victims were read aloud at Ground Zero in Manhattan, as they are on this day every year. At a ceremony in Meriden this morning, the flag that flew over the rubble of the World Trade Center in the days after the attacks was raised to half-staff outside City Hall. President Trump attended and spoke at a ceremony at the Pentagon, where one of the planes hit. Trump also paid tribute to conservative commentator Charlie Kirk, cut down by an assassin's bullet while speaking at a college in Utah on Wednesday. Trump said he would award the 31-year-old a posthumous Presidential Medal of Freedom. In the meantime, state, local, and federal authorities in Utah continue to work the case. They've released video stills of the suspected shooter, white male dressed in dark clothing and sunglasses. They say he appears to be college-aged and was dressed to blend in with the crowd that attended Kirk's appearance. FBI is announcing a $100,000 reward for information leading to an arrest and conviction. Man is charged with stealing money from a Little League association in Connecticut. East Lyme police say they're charging 42-year-old Roland Allard. They say he stole $87,000 from the East Lyme Little League Association. Connecticut is asking the WNBA for documents related to the sale of the Sun, saying there is suspicion the league is acting unfairly to take the Sun away from the state. Arizona judge has temporarily blocked the Trump administration's efforts to remove Guatemalan and Honduran children living in shelters or foster care after coming to the U.S. alone. Wall Street Dow finished up 617 points to a record 46,000. NASDAQ was up 157 and the S&P gained 55 points. Red Sox idle tonight. They open a huge series at Fenway tomorrow against the Yankees with the top wild card in the American League on the line. 6:10 will be the pregame here. Yanks will try to avoid getting swept out of the Bronx by the Tigers tonight, and the Mets will try to do likewise when they face the Phillies. Eastern League, Yard Goats in Richmond, 6:35 on the Odyssey app. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath. You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm, totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Thinking. Oh, a minute. Lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20.
Here we go.
CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Okay, it's Reese on the Radio, and we are back. More news and more views than you can shake a stick at. We're going to get Roseanne in on the show in a little bit. I want to talk to her a little bit about what's on her mind. You may have heard her yesterday. She was incredibly emotional about everything that went on. This for her is has been very daunting. Of course, she, as you might remember, she talks openly about the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, which converted her to a large degree into conservatism and being a representative of MAGA. And now the passing of Charlie Kirk, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, has affected her a great deal. She has not stopped crying, but I don't wish to bring her on because she's crying. I'm not trying to exploit that, but I just want her to be able to convey what she's thinking, because a lot of people are very emotional. Eladania is in the chat room, and she writes, I'm so angry today. The fact that people are celebrating someone dying for exercising their right for free speech boils my blood. And that's exactly why I want Roseanne to be here, because I know that in a lot of ways she's expressing what a lot of people are feeling, is a lot of pain in all of this. And do you think you're going to be okay to keep it together? Do you think you're going to be able to do it?
Keep it together? I will try.
Okay.
Every time I see a picture of Charlie or his family, I just...
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Not, like I said, I don't want to exploit your tears. I don't want to, that's not what I'm trying to do here, but...
it's okay. Exploit away.
That is not my style. I just, I want to have a conversation with you because, again, a lot of people have come to know you and recognize you on this show, and you have been you've been instrumental in a lot of things in my life and about this politics thing. You and I have been back and forth on so many discussions about this, but you expressed something to me about your fear, and I want to talk about that a little bit. So I'm hoping that you can keep it together. If you can't, I will I'll just take the mic from you. Like I said, I don't want to exploit your tears. I don't want to exploit your pain. That's not what this is about, but it's a conversation that...
Well, I'm not going to lie. I think allowing me to emote on air is essential. Like, this is what I'm feeling is real. It's palpable, right? And the sincerity is here. And I think a lot of people are feeling what I'm feeling. And I don't think that it's fair to try to sterilize it and make it, studio ready or
There's a real thing here. And as much as we as professionals, myself included, have to sort of keep it out of that the sky is falling box, there is a human element to this.
Yeah, if you're not feeling something, you're not human.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that in a minute when we get back, and then we'll take some of the phone calls as well. Okay? All right. Love you, honey. All right? Okay. Let's get to some weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. How you doing, buddy?
Reese, I'm doing good. Southbound 91, look for delays from exit 37 to 36. Again, 33 down to 32 A and B in Hartford. Another slowdown by exit 28. Again, you'll see a bump as you move from 19 down to 17 in Meriden for the Wilbur Cross Parkway. Northbound 91's a little tight, 21 to 22 in Cromwell. After that, moving well into Hartford. We do see a little slow traffic, 35 to 36 in Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up just after 56 Governor Street to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound's locked in about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue to the Bulkley. A little slow, 58 out to 59, heading out toward the 384 interchange. 291, 384 okay. 2 westbound slowing by 4A. Again, 1D up to the 84 west merge. 9 northbound's tight from exit 22 up to the Aragoni up to the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. 9 northbound's a little tight as you approach exit 31 in Berlin. Again, up by 32. If you're traveling westbound 84, delays from exit 25A and again 23 to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. 84 eastbound slowing 17 to 18. Again 20.
All right, all of you who are listening to my voice, I am not going to put this on the air, but I need you sleuths out there, to get on it. If you have a SoundCloud account, you are absolutely pertinent to what I'm about to share with you. The name is Sky Valadez. Skye Valadez. Valadez. Sky Valadez. If you have a SoundCloud account, I need you to go there and look up that name. Okay? If you find anything, share it with me in the chat room. I will be checking all of them. Again, Sky, Skye, Valadez.
On Sunday, there will be a shower around in the afternoon with a high Sunday of 79. But as we work our way into Monday, partly sunny with a passing shower, and the high Monday up to 80. Right now it's 77 in East Hartford, 77 degrees in Canton, and 78 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Packaging doesn't mask symptoms. It neutralizes allergens. Whisker Block, our patent-pending technology, binds the allergens so your immune system doesn't overreact. Many users feel relief in days, with meaningful improvement about a week in when used consistently. Recommended by doctors and experts, and designed to be safe for pets and humans of all ages. Order Packaging.com. Again, Packaging.com. Packaging.com. Pacagen.com. Protection from allergens, not guesswork.
You're listening to Leaf and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Yes. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
The NAACP calls him, whoa, I don't think I'm allowed to read this.
It's Reese on the radio.
Let's just say some people are not fans. On NewsTalk 1080, WTIC.
Yeah, we're back. Roseanne on the radio is here. We're going to get to a couple of phone calls. It's important that we hurry up and do that now. Let's get you in there. Thank you guys for holding when you did. Fulton is in Waterbury. How are you, sir?
What's up, guys? What's up? I got to think today. So, like, the last 10 shooters have had trans agendas.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if everybody realizes that. Up into the Uvalde, like, they all did.
Yes.
So
Uvalde's still up in the air, though, Fulton, even though they haven't all the way confirmed it.
Pictures of them in women's clothing, so I don't know how many 18-year-olds wear women, men wear women's
That's
clothing.
true.
I guess. So we could go with whatever on that one, I guess. So then the last 9. But, I mean, so then I want to point out something. One of your callers, Christine, not the Middletown, not the actual trans woman.
Right.
Someone called from another place. Christine called for violence, and you asked her, and you specifically said, so you're saying violence? And she said yes.
Oh, that was Courtney,
I'm sorry, not Christine. I apologize.
Yeah,
Courtney. And I said, well, that's shameful. I wish she calls up, and I hope she said something today, like, because they got violence. She got what she wanted. And I called up after and said, violence is never the answer. I was in horrible places. I was in Somalia. I was in Balkans. I mean, like, these aren't nice places. Nobody wants that here.
Yeah,
like,
nobody
you're wishing
does.
stuff on people that you should never, ever want. Ask Roseanne. I mean, she was in the military.
Yeah.
This is nuts. You're going to put an 8-year-old kid with bullets and a gun, but he's going to make a decision in a city and with no cameras, and we're going to judge them now. This will be great.
Yeah, you want to listen. You want again. You're 100% right, and that's the reason why. You know, I said to Fred, and I love Fred. It's nothing against him, but it's like I cannot go to that point where you're going. You know, let's talk about doing violent things. It's like, look, this is, and I know this thing where people say I'm sick and tired of everybody telling us to be in our better angels. It isn't about being your better angels. You have to ask yourself, who are you? Because if who you are is who they are, then you are just them. You are not you. It's the same argument that I make, Fulton, about people saying, well, if it weren't for Donald Trump, I wouldn't say these awful things. I'm like, dude, you sound no better than them.
You sound like an alcoholic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good point.
I mean, like, a couple of questions. So, like, here's what I'll say. Being a retired Waterbury cop, when I was off duty, I never carried my gun, ever. Never.
Yeah.
I never worried back then. That was 8 years ago. Now, I carry all the time. I'm not even a cop. Like, this is nuts. This world has gone insane. Like I said, what are the rules of engagement of the Army? Can they engage people? Can they arrest people? Can they search people? Like, you're putting a lot of pressure on a lot of people here.
Yeah. I just, like I said, I want cooler heads to prevail, and I kind of feel that they are. I think the further we get away from this, the more people will think. And it needs a day or two. I think it happened close to a weekend, but I think we're getting closer there. Thank you, Fulton. I appreciate you. Let me get George and Vernon. Thanks for holding, George. I know you've been there for a while. Thank you for being patient with me. And I guess that was hold him there too long. Let's go to Matty O. How are you, sir?
Hello, Mr. Hopkins. How are you doing?
Pretty good, sir. What's up?
First of all, let me give you a quick compliment. I know the first time you were on the air was during 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, I would have been so angry. I don't think I could have done a radio show. And then yesterday, I was so sad. I don't think I could have done it. So let me just give you props for keeping it together. I don't think I could have. And for Roseanne, I know you're worried about Reese, but I know for sure if he's ever out in an event, I would figuratively jump in front of the train to save him, and I'm sure there's many other people that would do that for him. So I hope that gives you at least a little solace.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. I love you, bro. Thank you so much for that. But you're making her cry again, okay? I told you I don't know how to operate them.
All day yesterday. I was crying yesterday
Yeah,
too. I
haven't been able to stop. I couldn't sleep. I just kept having dreams of Charlie Kirk and you, and it's been pretty rough.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
All right, bud.
You got it. Let's go to my good friend Mark in West Hartford, my ace in all of this.
I had to revise our credo. You live by it too. So now it goes, risk being hated and or hurt
Yeah.
for doing and saying the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And whatever happened to when they go low, we go high?
Yeah.
So as they're talking about Trump, we wouldn't be like that. I guess we forgot about that, huh? Now, listen, and Roseanne, I want your take on this. I've talked about this before because it is local, and you guys are going to find out. You already know, but you're going to see it a lot more often. There's an intentional disconnect between Connecticut's media and Connecticut citizens, as there is with the elected officials.
Yeah.
And today I got a 2-for-1. And sometimes I despise my friends for calling me and making me listen to this. But Ned Lamont was on TIC this morning for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
What were the 2 subjects he talked about on 9/11, the 24th, right, remembrance of 9/11, and the day after Charlie Kirk is assassinated? He's talking about taxpayers purchasing the Connecticut Sun and the windmill project.
Wow.
That got put on hold down in New London.
I know, and then
Now,
and
I'm
then
not going to blame Brian Shackman because I believe it's up to Ned.
Right.
It's up to you to dictate what you want your citizens to hear you speak
exactly. And Ned probably walked in and said, "Hey, I'm here to talk about that." And again, missing the mark, which is again so typical of this. To give you a perfect example, when I got the notice, I think it was last night. I got the notice last night. Text to me that William Tong would be holding a press release about the same thing, about the Connecticut Sun. I'm like, dude, nobody's coming to this thing.
I thought about Jamar Jones' family. Imagine that as they're trying to get a video release.
Yeah.
A.G. Tong, this is more important to him.
It's
having a losing team come here. But you know what? And I'll leave you with this. Wouldn't Charlie Kirk have loved to have heard the conversation between 2 liberals, between Brian Shackman and Ned Lamont, about his assassination? He would have loved to have had, like, they had a meaningful, deep conversation of what led to it. What a way to dishonor him. And
I think
to dishonor the people who died today on 9/11.
Yeah, that's again, and not only that, many of them Connecticut residents, as you heard in the top of the hour news break. That is again that's again so unfathomable about all of this. Connecticut residents lost their life on 9/11. This is the 24th anniversary of their death. Those are commuters who left Connecticut to go work down on Wall Street. Again, which has always been my mantra, right? What do? You go to New York and you make your bones, and when you make enough money, you move to Connecticut, the nutmeg state,
you
because
get on, you leave
you
for
get
white
on.
girl.
But you
Connecticut's the
you
white
make your
girl.
bones and you move to Connecticut because again, that's supposed to be the brass ring. You know what I mean? That's the land of milk and honey that you go to, and then go on the air and then not celebrate those individuals. I don't get it. I don't.
But it's almost unbelievable, and I paraphrase almost. Hey guys, thanks for letting me on.
You got it, Mark, as always, sir. Again, completely missed the mark. I was trying so hard to just not, because like I said, I had Chris Murphy audio that I wanted to play today, and the reason why I stepped on my own.
Is it the one where he talks about we need gun control?
No.
In regard to Charlie Kirk's murder?
Talking about that, we have to go against the norms, right? Because the Donald Trump, which
they did go against the norms. That's how we got to where we are.
Yeah, I know, but that was
boys are girls and girls are boys and she's are like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, Again, I didn't want to step on today by pointing fingers because that was so easy to do.
I'm well beneath you. I'm in the gutter. I am content to swim around in the gutter with the sewage. I will go there.
We have got no. Listen, we've got to set a tone. I started this.
Set a tone?
I set this show up to set a tone.
Are you forcing me to act like a lady?
You're the one who said to me. I remember explicitly.
Like a lady right
you said,
now.
Reese, the problem is that it's not what you say; it is how you say it.
I'm angry.
I know you are.
I'm angry and I'm hurt and I have this violent rage bubbling in me. And all I can do is pray. All I can do is pray to God right now that his will be done.
What you want to do, listen.
What I want to do when we get to Connecticut is I want to start a conservative action group. I want people to get together. I want to meet. I want to go door to door. I want to live a conservative life out loud because we have been quiet for too long. We have been forced to sit down and shut up so that the crazy ADHD sugar high kids can run around acting like lunatics in a Walmart. And it's time for some grown-ups to stand up and say, okay, everybody sit down, have a glass of water, and let the grown-ups work.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. Let's go to, I'm going to take the camera off you just for a minute there because again, like I said, no, I'll let you speak. I'm not trying to exploit you here. Let's go to Tom in Farmington real quick. How are you, Tom?
Pretty good, thank you. I hope I'm not stepping on you or what have you about Senator Chris Murphy. Yesterday, he said something that was very interesting in that he said that we are at war.
Mm-hmm.
We have to do anything possible to win this war.
Yeah. Would you like me to play it? I have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here it is. But I want to play that. But yeah, you know what? I'll play that. But I want to play something else, which I thought was interesting.
We're not going to convince Donald Trump to stand down in his attempts to destroy our democracy through de-escalatory politics. Like, that's just not happening. So our only opportunity, our only chance to save our democracy is to fight fire with fire right now. So yeah, do I bemoan the fact that, we're now blowing up norms? Yes, but literally for 2 seconds, because if you spend any more than that being sorry for the fact that the old world doesn't exist, then your democracy is gone. Like, we're in a war right now to save this country, and so you have to be willing to do whatever is necessary in order to save the country.
That's what you're talking about, right?
What an idiot.
Yeah, and right there, and it's been very disturbing. I know Molly Hemingway has really taken the press, and I get press to task, saying that it's just a propaganda arm of part.
I'm losing you, Tom. I'm sorry. Tom, you there? Oh, I lost him in the most important part. But in Tom's vein, let me just say in the vein in which he's bringing up, this is an important thing. I played this audio a long time ago. This is another one where Chris Murphy was saying that, I think it was on the Daily Show that people were promoting.
Moment requires us to break norms. This moment requires us to take risks. And I get it. A lot of my colleagues said shutting down the government, being in a government shutdown, that's a risk. That hands power to Donald Trump and Elon Musk. But how on earth are we going to ask the American people to take risks for us, right? When there's a 5-alarm constitutional fire and we need them to be out on the streets, not with hundreds, not with thousands or tens of thousands of people, but with hundreds of thousands of people, if we're not willing to show courage and take risks ourselves.
So again, this is not about Chris Murphy. Whatever happened is not about Chris Murphy. But what I am playing it for is an understanding that Chris Murphy, unfortunately, cannot say now rhetoric needs to tone down. He has made his bones and collected millions of dollars by ratcheting it up, okay? By suggesting that our democracy is at risk and we need people to take risks and fighting fire with fire and we are at war. These words, if they were uttered, in his view, by Donald Trump, these things would be inexcusable. And that's the point that I'm telling everybody else. You can't come back from that and then tell us Charlie Kirk didn't deserve this. Because, again, it prompts the question, then what did he deserve? Did he deserve to be called a Nazi? There's a question. You want to talk about deserve? Was he deserving of being called a Nazi or a traitor or a fascist? Was he? Because those things he was called, and we have verifiable evidence that was what was on the weapon that took his life. And we know verifiably that we know nothing about the shooter making a public proclamation that Charlie Kirk was any of those things. But we do have it of you. We have you on the record. So when we hear you using the word, and then the word ends up on the rifle that takes his life, we can add 1 + 1, and we don't need Common Core math to get to the solution. It's that simple. So I don't blame Chris Murphy, so that we understand. I don't blame him. I don't even make him culpable. But he is responsible for his language and echoing the sentiment of others who may have influenced the death of Charlie Kirk. That's his only responsibility, is that now he can't wait 6 months down the road and after saying, we need to tone it down, and then ratchet it up again. He cannot, and he must be held to that standard forever, because it'll only cost another life. That's what he's got to do. Go ahead, Roseanne, real quick. I got 30 seconds or less than.
I think the soul of Connecticut is resting on this. If you reelect that man, you are telling the entire state and the entire country what type of people Connecticut is.
I couldn't agree more. Let's see another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's at the BPS Traffic Center, sir.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound side of I-91, look for a little slow traffic, 33 down to 32 A and B, and again 27 down to 28, and another bump approaching 19 down to 17 for the Wilbur-Cross Parkway. Northbound 91, that a little slow by exit 22 and the Route 9 interchange. After that, moving well. Up into Hartford, we are seeing a little slowdown, 35 to 36 in Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up just after 56 Governor Street out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound delays about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue to the Bulkley. A little slow again between 58 and 59 and the 384 interchange. 2 westbound slowing by 4A in Glastonbury, and again 1D up to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. 9 northbound tight approaching Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. After that, some slow traffic from exit 34 up to exit 36 in New Britain. If you're westbound 84, you're slowing 26 to 25 in Waterbury. Again, a little tight at the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound slows approaching 17 up to exit 21 in Waterbury. And again, a little tight approaching the 691 interchange in Cheshire. If you're traveling on the northbound side of the parkway, some slow traffic 58 to 59. And southbound 95 New Haven tight 46 down to 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8 WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, as we head through the rest of this afternoon, it will be mostly sunny and comfortably warm across the area. We'll head up to a high temperature of right around 80 degrees. And mainly clear tonight, low 56. We do have another sunny and nice day in store for tomorrow with a high up to 76. Clear skies for tomorrow night, low 55. Then as we head into Saturday, a beautiful start to the weekend ahead of us with a mix of clouds and sunshine, and high Saturday into the upper 70s. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
5 o'clock, Hartford temperature 78 degrees. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Authorities in Utah are still on the lookout for the gunman who shot and killed Charlie Kirk on Wednesday. Now, photos of the gunman are out, showing a younger male in dark clothing and sunglasses. And Scott McFarland reports there's a reward out for information leading to Kirk's killer.
The search, which is now eclipsed 24 hours or about to eclipse 24 hours, could end at any time. But these new postings, the FBI posting a reward, the FBI posting a photo or two of the suspected shooter, indicate they may not be as farther along in the journey as we thought this morning.
Vice President Vance will escort Kirk's body to his hometown in Arizona aboard Air Force Two. Aaron Navarro has more from the White House.
Vice President Vance flying to Utah today to meet with Kirk's family, as well as have Kirk's body on Air Force Two, traveling back to Arizona. Said in a long post last night that Kirk, quote, didn't just help us win in 2024, he helped us staff the entire government.
They held a ceremony in Meriden today outside City Hall. This 24 years after the September 11th, 2001 terror attacks. Many cities and towns across the state and the country held ceremonies on this day of remembrance. Retired police officer in Meriden, Hector Cardona, watched the events unfold that day. The next day, he was at Ground Zero.
It was like a war zone. You never thought that would happen in the United States. You never thought that would... you see that in third world countries.
Audio from WFSB. An American flag that flew over the World Trade Center rubble was raised to half staff outside Meriden City Hall. In the face of shifting guidelines from Washington, Governor Lamont and other top state officials are reminding the public that everyone who has been eligible for the COVID vaccine in Connecticut remains eligible. Here's WTIC's Dave Mager.
The officials are trying to counter conflicting guidance from the CDC with clarity. In Connecticut, COVID vaccine eligibility and recommendations have not changed. Public Health Commissioner Dr. Manisha Jutani says getting the shot is important for the very young and senior citizens.
In the 6-month to 23-month-old age group and in the over 65-year-old age group, you absolutely should get a shot. Everybody can get a shot 6 months and older.
That, of course, includes adults 18 to 65 without underlying conditions, a group the CDC wants to ban from getting the shot.
For those adults who are 19 to 65, what we want to be clear is that you can get a shot.
And your insurance is required to cover it as usual. Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Trump administration has asked the D.C. Court of Appeals for an emergency ruling to remove Governor Lisa Cook before next week's Federal Reserve policy meeting. This comes after the president's move to fire Cook for alleged mortgage fraud was previously blocked by a federal judge, saying there was not sufficient cause. Legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum says the case will likely head to the Supreme Court.
The court hinted in an earlier ruling that the Federal Reserve might actually have institutional independence from the White House. Also, some higher court is going to have to rule what is the meaning of being fired for cause. Is cause anything negative that might happen even prior to the appointment, or must it be some crime committed while in office?
This week is the start of the Big E in West Springfield. The over 2-week event features fair food, rides, live concerts, agricultural displays, and more. It's among the largest fairs in the U.S. and North America. Another thing the Big E is famous for, of course, the cream puffs. Chad Esposito is billed as the cream puff man.
BigE.com has your new foods, has the old foods, has because we have satellite spots for the cream puff. So there's maps there. So you have the bakery, and then there's 2 other spots if you want to grab cream puffs before you leave.
Connecticut Day is Wednesday, September 17th. Big E runs through Sunday, September 28th. Parking ticket and other information available at thebige.com. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Erectile dysfunction affects nearly 50% of age 50. But even with so many men affected, finding a trusted provider to treat the condition isn't so simple. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice, and I'm excited to announce the opening of our newest location of Northeast Men's Health in Warwick, Rhode Island. As a Promenic affiliate, Northeast Men's Health can offer men with ED the latest treatment protocols, which are shown in medical studies to be effective in well over 90% of men. And unlike groups that only offer wave therapy or online pharmacies that just sell pills, we offer a variety of treatments to help get you the results you want. You should also know that Northeast Men's Health is a true medical practice, which means our providers have access to a complete range of treatment options to get you back on track. So call Northeast Men's Health today. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes a medical consult, blood work, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. Here we go. 930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC. News Talk 1080.
Let me see if I can get a quick call in here so they don't hold any longer. Let's go to Marie in Burlington. How are you, Marie?
Hey, Reese. I am so brokenhearted.
I know.
I have a couple questions. I was so looking forward to hearing what you had to say about this whole thing, but they had baseball on, and I couldn't find you. Is there a way to find you? Are you still doing your broadcast?
Yes, I'm always doing the broadcast online. You can go to WTIC.com and check out the podcast there. All of that is there. I've also, I know I posted it. If you go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com as well, yesterday's program pretty much runs almost commercial free, just almost. But you can go to my website and get yesterday's show in its entirety. And I think we don't start talking about Charlie Kirk until roughly about 30 minutes into the show, because I know I did my opening monologue and then we got the word right into the 4 o'clock hour. So it couldn't have even been a half an hour.
It was so heartbreaking. I think Grant Gutfield.
Yeah.
Just him throwing the F-bomb.
Yeah, that was
so unbelievable.
You know
Like,
what?
Everybody felt it.
Can I? You know what? As a New Englander, it was reminiscent of Big Papi after the bombing, the marathon bombing.
Oh yeah.
Remember that when he comes in and he goes, "This is our bleeping city," and the whole crowd erupted? That's exactly what I felt like when Greg Gutfeld dropped the F-bomb on the air. It was like I got chills because I got that same feeling I did with Big Papi. And it was such a uniting message.
I was so sad that Gutfield wasn't on at 10 o'clock, and I'm wondering if they banned him because
No,
he shot the F-bomb.
no. He's on the air right now. I'm looking right at him. He's definitely.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, he's back. I think that it was, because it's a comedy show and it would have been a wrong tone. But thank you, Maria. I wanted to make sure I got you in real quick. But go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com.
One more thing.
I've
One
only
more thing.
2 seconds.
I will join you in that conservative moment, and conservative, whatever you're doing. I will so join you, Roseanne.
I will tell. She's actually here listening. Let's get to a break. We got to get to weather and traffic. I didn't want to cut her off. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. Thanks, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. And if you're heading into downtown Hartford right now, look for the slow traffic. Southbound 91 from 33 down to 32 A and B, and again 27 down to 28. And you'll slow again 19 down to 17, or actually 19 down to 18 in Meriden now for the 691 interchange. Northbound 91's a little slow by 22. The Route 9 interchange in Cromwell. After that, moving well, Hartford up into Windsor. If you're traveling westbound 84, you've got some slow traffic approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45. Flatbush 84 eastbound slowing about a mile before 46th Avenue. Down to the Bulkley, a little tight again, 58 out to 59 in the 384 interchange. If you're traveling to westbound, delays by 4A, and again 1D in East Hartford up to the 84 west merge. Heading into Middletown, both sides of 9 heavy at the Aragoni Bridge. 9 northbound, a little slow by exit 31 in Berlin. 84 eastbound in Waterbury is tight, approaching 17 up to exit 22 in Waterbury. Westbound 84 Waterbury sluggish from 26 up to the Mixmaster. If you're heading into New Haven, South 95 tied up from 48 down to 43 in West Haven. Northbound Parkway slowing 58 in Orange up to the West Rock Tunnel in New Haven. I'm Mark Christopher. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
This traffic report is being brought to you by Stu Leonard's Farm Fresh Foods. This week, Stu Leonard's app deals. Local New York State apples are just 99 cents a pound. You saved $1. Plus, organic seedless red or green grapes are just $2.99 per pound. See more weekly deals at StuLeonards.com.
WTIC weather.
Plenty of sunshine for the rest of this afternoon. It will be pleasantly warm out there with a high temperature of right around 80 degrees and mainly clear tonight, low 56. Sunny tomorrow, another nice day in store for us. We'll add up to a high of 76 and clear again tomorrow night, low 55. On Saturday, we do have a nice start to the weekend ahead of us. We'll see times of clouds and sunshine, the high Saturday, 77. And as we work our way into Sunday, clouds and even a few peaks of sunshine, there will be a stray shower in the afternoon. I do think most areas will stay dry for Sunday. The high Sunday, 79. On Monday, turning out partly sunny with a passing shower. The high Monday up to 80. Right now it's 79 in Windsor, 77 in Farmington, and 77 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
If you have any sort of joint pain, you got to listen up. Whether it's from years of hard work or an old injury that never healed right, whatever it is, you can have it stop right now. I'm Brian Shackman here talking about QC Kinetics. You can flip the script. It's regenerative medicine, advanced cellular treatments that help your body heal and restore the damage in your joints. They don't cover it up. They don't cut it out. They're actually helping heal and restore. The results are long-lasting relief, and it's amazing. It's so busy here in Connecticut, they opened up a third office. So instead of planning your day around pain, plan it around life, whether it's walking, hiking, playing with your kids, whatever. QC Kinetics can do without surgery, without drugs. Okay, give them a call. That first consultation is totally free. So bring your MRI, your x-rays, and find out if it's something for you. 860-440-PAIN. Again, it's 860-440-PAIN. They're located in Avon, New Haven, and Glastonbury. So give them a call. Chances are it's close to you. That free consultation, 860-440-PAIN.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Segment. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different.
Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
University of Maryland Global Campus offers more than 55 flexible online certificates that provide short-term credentials and real-world skills you can use immediately. With a range of affordable undergraduate and graduate certificates in high-demand fields like business, AI, cybersecurity, data and healthcare, you can earn credentials quickly to help advance your career. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Oh, hold still. This is only going to hurt a little.
You hate
it's
that
Reese
promo.
on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Roseanne hates that promo. She hasn't told me that, but she goes, that's like, I don't like that promo. And I don't blame her. Anyway, I want to do this real quick, and then I'll get to, actually, let's go to Dan first, since we've been on hold for a while. Dan, thank you for holding. What's up, buddy?
Afternoon. How you doing today?
I'm all right, sir. I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
Yeah. Last night saw this thing, and I'm so tired of the internet. You're clicking things, and the video came up.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I can't handle seeing somebody killed.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
Yeah, I refuse to.
Click off it.
Yeah, I had to tell Roseanne today even that I had to take her phone from her. Like I had to snatch it out of her hand and put it down on the table. And I said, you just can't do this. That's what feeds the sort of the fear. That's what feeds the anger. Because that's what it's designed to do. It's an emotional roller coaster on steroids in your hand. And and again, it's so funny because in and of itself, there is a part of you that is finding more of your humanity in all of this, right? So you're watching it, and every time you're scrolling, you're seeing something that sort of emotes or causing some sort of emotion out of it. And it realizes, you recognize how human you are in all of this. Yep. And you also recognize how compassionate you are in all of this. But then there's a part, and it always does. It's like anything. I remember a man telling me back when I was in a group home, I want to say 1985 maybe. And he said to me, anyone can be addicted to anything. I used to be addicted to Hawaiian punch. And I remember every kid laughed, but he was very serious. It's like we can all be addicted to something. And sometimes we could be addicted to pain. And that's which draws us. And that's where, when we watch those things, you wonder why people were obsessed with things like that ridiculous and very reprehensible video called bum fights, right? You looked at that and you just said, how could anybody be into that? Because you can be addicted to anything.
Yeah, when you were a kid, you remember they had those videos, Faces of Death.
Yes.
And it was just all just horrific stuff.
Exactly.
That's why, I listened this morning, and, I'm totally disgusted with our governor. To go on this morning and he pushing his agenda, to fulfill his own little personal thing of buying a basketball team that hasn't made money in 25 years. Well, the treasurer of the state or whoever controls the pension fund has already said we have to move forward very, very carefully because this is supposed to benefit the workers and the workers that are collecting pensions, not be some, personal thing to buy a basketball team. Because seriously, they haven't made money in 25 years. We shouldn't be investing in teams like that.
Yeah, I know.
There's money in safer things for our workers.
We're going to focus a lot on that tomorrow because there's so much people are talking about with this. And I said it, look, if it was going to be an interest in the stake of the Connecticut Sun, it was going to have to be with people working but never getting the city involved or getting the state involved. And there is an opportunity here, but the WNBA is going to make it difficult. I don't know why, but they are. But you make a good point. Thank you, Dan, man. I appreciate your passion And, it is all of our loss. So we are all sorry and sad, man. And thank you for sharing it with us.
Have a better day.
Thank you, man. Let's go to Christine in Willington. Hello, Christine.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
My pleasure.
I have been telling people for years now that none of this is about politics. We're in a spiritual warfare against good versus evil. So regarding what has happened to Charlie and his family, God does promise that everything Satan means for evil, God will use for good.
Damn right.
Everything.
That is right.
So I heard this line once from an old movie. It only takes one man to set a pace. Charlie has done that, so we have to pick up that torch and move it along.
That's right.
The Bible indicates that we are in the last days. I believe that. So I want to encourage anyone listening right now to seek their redemption. So I want to read something right now if you want to give your life to Christ. Jesus, right now I ask you to become Lord of my life. You are my Savior, and I thank you for the sacrifice you made on the cross. I receive your grace and confidently believe that my life is forever changed. Jesus, help me to live for you. My heart and my life are open to what you have for me. I want to know your ways and love people as you love me. Everything within me is submitted to you. Thank you for your mercy, hope, and unfailing love. In your name I pray. If you believe that, you say that prayer, you're on your way and you're saved.
Thank
So I
you
just
so
wanted to
much.
put that out there now.
Nope, Christine, it was absolutely the right tone. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate your call. Thank you for waiting.
God bless you, Reese.
God bless you
Thank
too.
you.
Yeah, and again, that's, as I expressed, if you're just joining us now, that was what my opening monologue was about, was that, this is God's plan. And as we try to understand and recognize what's going on, we, again, being of flesh, we look at that and we look at things in a way that we look at them. And it is difficult for us to look at this as God's plan. It's difficult for us to understand why, God, why would you? And I look at the level of which Charlie Kirk influenced masses. Someone is online now saying something that blew me away, and it's so true. That he has affected a generation of people. A generation is so large now that in his passing, many kids, young people, are drawn to him. One woman was on here saying that she was on her school bus, and every kid on her school bus, the entire ride, was talking about Charlie Kirk, but not in the way that teenagers do. Is like, yo, did you see that video? They were all passionate about what he was and talking about. He was just trying to have a conversation with people. Let me play this real quick, Roseanne, before I let you get back in. This was on CNN today, and the woman who's speaking, her name is, she's a political columnist. Her name is Rachel Bade, or Bade, B-A-D-E. And this is what she said.
Just think about what kind of person it takes to go into college campuses, which we all know are sort of, a breeding ground of progressive thinking, a liberal thinking, to be a conservative, somebody who's very out there, evangelical Christian, and to proclaim the types of things that he is saying on college campuses that are not popular with a lot of young people. And he did that. He did it successfully, and he was able to garner a movement. Look, I agree with you, David. I mean, he was, whether you like him, agree with him or not, very much the perfect example of what we need in American civil discourse, right?
And he was. That's the important part. Now, think about it. He goes into, as she described, the lion's den of progressive ideology. He does that very early in his life, and he grows from one speech to the next, grows a political action group, Turning Point USA and Turning Point Action. He turns it into a powerhouse. 18 years old, dies at 31, okay? That is 12 years that man was able to go into the bastions of liberalism and create a movement that is now in over 35,000 campuses, high school and college. In, again, what is only considered the progressive lion's den. And he grew and was successful. It's like you're not supposed to be able to sell ice to an Eskimo if you think about it, right? It's like it's supposed to be the most difficult thing to sell. Conservatism is supposed to be the most difficult thing to sell in a progressive battleground. And he did it. And he was able to change minds. How did he do it? It was impressive. So
He was just a human being.
yeah, and again, right. He was just a human being, and he respected everyone. He didn't agree with everyone, and that, again, is enough. And his passing is, I'm going to go in this route, but it sounds like I'm being sort of trivial in all of this, but it's an important point to make about this. Imagine you are in an argument with a friend. You're in an argument with a friend, and everybody you know is there watching you in the argument. And while you are trying to make your point, everybody there knows both of you. They're all good friends with you. And in the middle of that argument, they let you two go at it. And the two of you are trying to make each other's points. And one person is grabbing plates and screaming and hollering and trashing them onto the ground to make a point. But the other person is calm and just saying, I understand what you're saying, but then there's this. And you're just being calm. The people in the crowd are going to make a decision on whose side they're on. If the person who's really making a valid point is smashing plates and flailing around and ripping stuff and pushing people around and doing all that, the crowd is either going to say, I like that way in which he's approaching it, or I like the guy, I'm listening more to the guy who's calm, because there's a reason why he's calm, because he thinks he can convey himself without being emotional. But the other person is very emotional and he's very passionate. What Charlie Kirk did was exactly that. He got into a crowd of people. He asked the people who disagreed with him to get a front row seat, be right there in the front row. You get direct access to me. I don't want to be in an echo chamber. I don't want to be with a whole bunch of people who are going to come up and agree with me. You first. You are the most important person in the room, as we alcoholics say, right? And that's, be honest as it may be, that is kind of Charlie Kirk's approach.
Right. I think that's what makes him, that's what made him such a powerhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's able to go into the crib, if you will, with these baby liberals. And rather than allowing them to unencumbered suckle from this liberal poisonous teat, he walks in and he says, here's some nutrition. You know, and people, like babies and puppies, know evil. Babies and puppies know where they're safe. And these are young kids who, even after walking up to the mic, screaming at him and trying to get a gotcha moment, when Charlie looks at them and says, I understand your perspective, but did you consider this?
Yeah.
You know, it's very disarming to walk up to someone, not disarming in a negative way, but to have someone look at you and go, hey, I have a seat. Let's talk.
Yep. I'm going to come into this the same way I expect to end it. And that's with honor and respect for you.
And at the end of every conversation, whether you agreed with him or not, he said, hey, God bless you. Thank you. Would you like a hat?
Yeah.
These are people. I mean, this guy, there was this one video I watched this morning where this guy, a deaf guy, was, talking. Charlie Kirk apparently didn't like translators on the screens, and he thought that they were just in the way. And this deaf guy communicates with them and says, ASL is one thing, but when we don't have a translator there, it really hinders us and puts us in danger. And Charlie Kirk says, listen, I was wrong. I was educated on my fallacy, on my inaccuracy, and I truly apologize. I didn't mean to offend anybody. I've learned, and I will do better from now on. And the guy looked at Charlie Kirk and still signed, this rude name. And Charlie thought he was being guided into something nice, but he got goaded into, this thing. And still Charlie Kirk walked away from it, going, well, you know what? I learned.
Yeah.
And anybody who calls him a racist or a misogynist or a xenophobe or anti-LGBT, you've obviously never heard him speak.
And that's
never.
And that's another thing. That what you just said is very important. Is I always try to reiterate, maybe it's something I'm trying to influence, right? When you know something is true, follow it. if you know something is false, ignore it, right? Never let anyone dictate who you are with a lie. Never let that be, because again, if you're constantly fighting the lie, you're giving it life. You're giving it breath, right? So like you have to keep pushing it back. It's like, I've got to fight against that.
Well, for 2 years, I mean, I'm not going to mention the situation, but I was told you're not going to say anything. You're not going to defend your name. You're not going to speak back. You are going to do nothing. You are going to show up. You are going to smile. You are going to live your life and let that thing over there continue to happen. For 2 years, I sat through that. I lost friends, or quote unquote friends. I lost, people that I thought were very dear to me.
Yeah.
I lost all of that.
But that in the
But
end,
I stayed true and I followed instructions. I kept my mouth shut, even though I wanted to do the contrary. I kept my mouth shut. And I walked out of it on the other end. And when you were saying, when people are looking at who's breaking plates and who's staying calm, that's exactly how it played out for
Exactly.
me.
And
Is the other party ended up showing their true colors. When someone shows you who they are, believe them.
That's right.
And I learned a new way to approach situations.
Exactly.
Was just shut up, sit still. What is it? Be still and know that I am God.
Exactly. I always say, let your reputation precede you. If you are who you are, you will always be who you are. When people see something new, they go, wow, that's not him. That's how you know you're not being who you are. Stay true. Always stay true. To thine own self, be true. Well, we're getting a lot of AA in this. All right, we got to take another break. Let's get to some weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. This traffic report being brought to you by Columbia Implant Center in Manchester. If you are heading into Hartford right now, South 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B, and again 27 to 28. Another slowdown between exit 20 and 19 as you move down into Meriden. Northbound 91 looks real good. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is a little tight, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush. 84 eastbound, no major problems, just some slow traffic about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. A little slow again, 58 out to 59. 291 eastbound slowing from I-91 over to just about exit 2 in South Windsor on the eastbound side of 291. Both sides of 9 heavy approaching the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound is really tight from just after 16 in Southbury all the way up to exit 22 in Waterbury right now. Look out for an accident in that area on the eastbound side of 84 in Waterbury. If you're heading toward New Haven, South 95 slows 46 to 43. Southbound Parkway got delays from 61 down into the West Rock Tunnel. Stuck in traffic again, don't waste another minute. Columbia Implant Center in Manchester gets you in and out fast, often in just one day, open 7 days a week. Get your smile back now, Columbia Implant Center, ColumbiaImplantCenter.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by Staples.
WTIC weather.
Well, as we head through the rest of this afternoon, it will be mostly sunny and comfortably warm across the area. We'll head up to a high temperature of right around 80 degrees. And mainly clear tonight, low 56. We do have another sunny and nice day in store for tomorrow with a high up to 76. Clear skies for tomorrow night, low 55. And as we head into Saturday, a beautiful start to the weekend ahead of us with a mix of clouds and sunshine, and high Saturday into the upper 70s. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 5:30, 77 degrees in Hartford. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Update on the investigation into the murder of Charlie Kirk. The FBI has released surveillance video stills of a person of interest. White male seen in dark clothing, wearing sunglasses. They say he's college-aged, was able to blend in with the crowd, then leapt from the roof where the fatal shot was fired. Authorities believe they have the murder weapon. President Trump paid tribute to Kirk during a memorial service for 9/11 victims at the Pentagon today. The president saying he will be awarding Kirk a posthumous Presidential Medal of Freedom. And ceremonies across the state and around the country marking 24 years since the attacks. In Meriden today, they had a flag raising, flag that was flown over the rubble of the World Trade Center for days after the attacks. Risen to half staff. 161 people with ties to Connecticut died that day. East Lyman is facing charges he stole from the town's Little League Association. 42-year-old Roland Allard is facing charges. Police say he misappropriated $87,000 from the league. He's facing larceny charges due in court later this month. CDC trying to limit public access to the COVID vaccine. Governor Lamont says he is protecting the access in Connecticut. The state says all residents can get the shot despite the feds restricting eligibility for adults from aged 18 to 65 with no underlying medical conditions. Governor says he is coordinating with bordering states as he did during the height of the COVID crisis. Wall Street, the Dow set a record, 46,000, gaining over 600 points. NASDAQ was up 157, S&P up 55. Red Sox idle tonight, a huge series tomorrow against the Yankees. They'll open it at Fenway, and we'll have it here on TIC with the pregame at 6:10. The Yankees try to avoid getting swept out of the stadium against the Tigers tonight. The Mets are in Philly. Eastern League Yard Goats in Richmond, a 6:35 start on the Odyssey app. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife Michelle, attended
it's honestly
Mark
the
Patrick's
most,
weight loss
and I can
seminar.
tell you I'm
She
super
lost
blessed. I have
18
the best
pounds,
wife in the
and I
world.
lost
We have an amazing
43
life. Building a
in 8
family is the
weeks.
coolest
It's true.
thing ever.
Smoked 2 packs a
And
day and nothing worked until Mark Patrick hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food, crazy, enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again. My blood pressure went down, and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Join Mark Patrick Seminar's early bird special, only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings. That's right. Seminars Thursday, September 18th, Hilton Garden in Hartford North, Bradley International Airport in Windsor. Weight loss seminar 5:30. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Or Saturday, September 20th, Holiday Inn Express, Southington. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Register markpatrickseminars.com.
Actual price will depend on. 1 minute. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships freely to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
As I've often said about this program, we try to look at things in a particular perspective. I'm not. I would consider myself very original in my thinking, even though people share my point of view. But I like to look at things a particular way. Maybe it's from an outside view, maybe a little bit inside, from an abstract angle. But I don't do it just for the sake of trying to be weird. I just do it because that's the way in which I view the world. It's not, I don't believe the world is very simple. I do think there's a reason for everything. I don't believe in coincidences. But as I was thinking about this today, going over like, what's my opening monologue going to be about today? What do I want to talk about? And I was talking to John Beckman and I said, one of the things that I wanted to iterate today, say to you, was when thinking about the people who are online saying the worst things that you could say about a man's life and his passing, I want you to think about the irony in all of this. Charlie Kirk dies a day before the 24th anniversary, the somber 24th anniversary of September 11th. And I want you to think about the people who were online yesterday cheering his death, who then today are probably sharing fond memories and well wishes to the family members of those who died on September 11th, 24 years ago. How they can just switch up to say, sorry for your loss, respect the dead, you're in our prayers, praying for the families. Those folks who were just yesterday hopping around doing silly little dances. Just consider that when you put a level of importance into what those people did or are doing. You can't circle that square. You just can't. You can't. It just shows you how demented these people are. They're not salvageable. Just recognize who they are for what they are. That's all you need to do. Because again, like I said, they're waking up the next day. Oh, wow, that's right. It's the anniversary of September 11th. Man, God rest the dead. Yeah, mourning for the families who lost their family members 24 years ago on this day. And just yesterday, they were mocking the death of a man. Consider the source. Get my point? Because that happened today. Let's go to another break and get the weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's at the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading 91 southbound into Hartford, look for delays 34 down to 32 A and B. Again, 27 down to 28 Hartford Weathersfield line. And a little slow traffic again as you move down by exit 19 in Meriden. Northbound 91, that looks real good. Cromwell through downtown up into Winter, no issues. 84 westbound delays, East Hartford approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. Eastbound 84 slowing about a half mile before 46th Avenue down to the Bulkley Bridge. You'll lose speed again out by the 384 interchange on 84 East. Route 2 westbound slowing 1D up to the 84 West merge. 291 eastbound's a little tight coming off of I-91 in Windsor up to the Bissell Bridge. Heading into Middletown, 9 northbound delays approaching Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound moving from Southbury into Waterbury. Still very heavy from 16 all the way up to the Mixmaster. Westbound 84 sluggish in Cheshire. 26 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. And if you're traveling into New Haven right now, look for slow traffic on the Parkway southbound from exit 62 down into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound slowing 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Traffic brought to you by the Connecticut Police Chiefs Association. Before our children get to school, they're on the roads, on sidewalks, in crosswalks, riding bikes, and waiting for buses. So put away the distractions and slow down. School's in. Drive smart. A message from the Connecticut Police Chiefs Association and Connecticut DOT.
WTIC weather.
Plenty of sunshine and comfortably warm as we head through the rest of this afternoon. We'll head up to a high of 80 degrees and remaining mainly clear tonight, low 56. As we head into tomorrow, sunny and nice once again. We'll have a high up to 76 degrees and clear skies for tomorrow night, low 55. We're off to a great start to the weekend. As we head into Saturday, we'll see a mixture of clouds and sunshine. Saturday's high up to 77. Then for Sunday, clouds and a few peaks of sunshine. We do have a front approaching the area. That can bring a stray shower to some spots in the afternoon. Sunday's high is 79, then partly sunny on Monday with a passing shower and a high up to 80. Right now it's 75 degrees in Hebron, 78 in Plainville, and we're at 77 degrees in Hartford. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
Never liked braces? Invisalign is an alternative that may be right for you. It's removable, more comfortable, and reduces the risk of developing cavities and gum disease. Get your dream smile discreetly and easily. Call Columbia Dental at 860-645-0111.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic a part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, ShopRite, or online at Amazon or at newnordicusa.com.
Coverage varies by plan, view contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203. Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more and
Don't even answer
are you
that.
barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You
You know who it is.
It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
And we're back. Reese and Roseanne. We're going to wrap this up today. We are going to get to regular broadcasting tomorrow because that's what we have to do. We're not moving on. And life does have to go on, as does this show. And that's what we will do as professionals. Of course, as more details arise, we will get to them. We will definitely keep you posted. But if you want to follow Reese on the Radio, just go to reasoontheradio.com, and you can do that. If there is something of note to post, we will. And I want you to think about what I said earlier and what I posted earlier about, what he deserved. Don't let anyone on your Facebook or Instagram or X streams get away with that. Someone says what he didn't deserve. Ask out loud, what did he deserve? If you're so upset. And if they start posting what they said, so what did he deserve for this? He said this thing you didn't like. What did he deserve? And if you're on the left and you're listening and you can't seem to understand what he deserved or don't know how to answer the question because you think it's a trap, it's not. It's not a trap. In the sort of vein of Charlie Kirk, let me explain to you what the question is asking. Did you think he had a right to think what he did? Do you think he had a right? Did he deserve the right to think differently? Did he deserve the right to express that to others and to challenge that point of view? Did he deserve the right to prosper in doing so, like he did with Turning Point? Did he deserve the right to influence others by talking about God, getting people to a point where they had a relationship with God, where they had a relationship with their Lord and Savior, made them think about being responsible, not being promiscuous, not having children out of wedlock,
No drinking, no drugs.
no drinking, no drugging.
He encouraged trades rather than college.
Yeah. This is a guy who couldn't get into West Point, wanted to get into West Point, and thought that was the end of him, and then found some way to actually influence college graduates and college students. His story was written by God. I don't care what anyone says. There's no such thing as a coincidence. The smartest thing that ever happened to Charlie Kirk was being denied the opportunity to go to West Point, and he probably would have been a great soldier. He probably would have been a great leader politically. But his influence, his usefulness, That's a word we don't use a lot. His usefulness is beyond him. You have a lot of people talking about sacrifice, right? I mean, I talked about it. Chris Murphy said it here. Like, we're not willing to make sacrifices. We are not willing to take risks, Chris Murphy said, right?
He's not an American.
Yeah, he said we have to be willing to take risks. Well, that's what Charlie Kirk did. His political beliefs, his religious beliefs, at the end of the day, there were risks to that. Risks that he didn't even recognize, that none of us recognized. We saw that video and went, holy crap. And then when the dust settles and everything is calm and we get sort of some perspective on what happened, everybody says the same thing. What, because you didn't agree with him? Somebody wrote, he thought transgenders belonged in an institution. Okay, did he deserve to die? Well, no. Then what did he deserve? He said that women belonged as faithful to their husbands. Okay, what should have been the response to it? Hold them to it. If they're so outraged by it, what does that mean? You got to ask people. People have to answer that. Or say nothing. You don't just get to be outraged at what he said and then not tell us whether or not he deserved to die. You cannot exist. The two things cannot exist on separate planes. You have to say it because, again, it must go for everybody else. I get it all the time. Someone will send me a message and you said this and you called this person a that. Yeah, and what? So what? What does it mean? Well, you shouldn't say it. But I did. Now what? And when you see them lost for words, it's because here's what they're not revealing. And let me say it to the people you know I'm talking to. Here's what they're saying. I need you to be punished for it. Because if you're not punished, you'll say it again. And it must be stopped. And that's what they're afraid of saying.
Censorship.
Yeah. But can I tell you a story? I want to go back a little bit here. I'm going to share this, and I'll take some calls before we wrap it up. I'm at the Zuccotti Park in New York during the protest of Occupy Wall Street. I don't even think I've told you guys this story. I've told you about one of these interactions I had with a young Indian kid talking about the Ayatollah saying that he wishes to wipe the Israel off the face of the earth. And the kid sat there and said, no, he never said that. And we were surrounded by at least 50, 60, maybe 100 people. And I never reached into my pocket and grabbed my cell phone. But as I was arguing with this kid, I said, the Ayatollah said he wants to wipe the Israel off the face of the earth. And the kid arguing with me said, no, he didn't. And every kid around me grabbed their iPhones and looked it up. And then in the middle of our argument, I saw a sea of hands and their cell phones go to the kid's face, pointing to the information that said and quoted the Ayatollah. It was in real time as he sat there, and I stood there, and I looked around, and I said, I love it when a plan comes together. Because everybody had the information. Everybody had the information. And as I always say about
Even
smartphones.
that kid.
Yeah, he did too. And as I always say, we have smartphones operated by idiots. And when I said it, everybody went and searched it, and they showed it to him, and he had to retreat. He immediately left. But this was another story about Occupy Wall Street while we were sitting there. And I'm having a discussion with a bunch of people because everybody I'm going through, I'm interviewing them for my podcast. And I'm just going to this person, that person. I'm talking to them. And this the older white man, roughly about 5'2", is coming up to me, and he is literally tailing me as I'm talking to young individuals, people clearly younger than me, in this conversation. And I'm asking this person, that one, and I'm challenging their beliefs, going back and forth, going back and forth. And the guy interjects, and I look down again. I'm 6'3", and this older man, older than me at the time, I'm in my 30s, like 40s even. And he says in the middle of that, he says, no, listen, look, we got to stop this guy. He can't say these things. And I stopped and I looked down at him and I said, what did you say? And he said, we can't. What I meant to say was, no, sir, what you said was you can't allow me to say these things. How are you going to stop me? And he was like, that's not what I meant. I said, sir, but it is what you said. You don't want me. You can't allow me to say these things. And that is the true nature of this. When you get into these debates, you must understand that. Recognize what you are being told. Right. The reason why people are constantly showing these, he said this and he said that. You've got to respond with it. It's the two words that drive them up the wall. It almost renders them powerless.
So what?
So what?
Do you remember a time in this country when you could disagree with someone and still not shoot them in the neck?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember it. It was called the day before yesterday.
When I was, even before that, when I was a kid, one of the things that we talked about a lot when I was in school, mind you now, I grew up on military installations, so maybe that was the difference, was that the freedom of speech was one of the greatest gifts that we have in this country.
Mm-hmm.
That you can say, as long as you're not threatening someone, and you can never threaten the life of the President of the United States. You could say whatever you want to say. It is your right as an American. I serve my country.
Mm-hmm.
I serve my country. I have friends who died in service to my nation so that we could preserve the right to the freedom of speech. What does that mean? That means I can say what I want to say. You don't have to agree with me. I'm not begging you to believe me. If you don't believe me, you don't want to follow me, that's fine. Look.
Yeah,
there's a
it's
whole
all of this
world
room
out there for you.
There's all of this room.
Right? And then when you're talking about that kid, it's like, no, he didn't say that. One thing that I'm really finding to be prevalent in today's world is it doesn't matter how many facts you show these people. They don't care.
Right.
They have been so indoctrinated. Like, they call us a cult, right?
Yeah.
I'm in a cult because I think independently, because I believe in research, because I go back into history. I'm in a cult.
Mm-hmm.
But these people are taking a 2-second clip or a 5-second clip. Well, this is what he said. Oh my God, he's a racist. You could get a video of Roseanne saying, I hate black people, and you will forever believe that's what Roseanne said. But if you listen to the entire quote and it says, I really hate when black people are discriminated against.
Yeah.
You listen to the entire clip, it's a very different sentence.
Yeah.
But these people are working only on that little snippet that suits their agenda.
Right.
And they are destroying our country
Their
for
own,
it.
right. Their preconceived notions, right? If you already believe that this is the thing, then anyone can sort of
Even
use that.
worse,
Yeah.
These people have no belief system. You got all of these
True.
children leaving mommy and daddy's house with no home training, with no spiritual guidance, with no real structure.
Right.
You are throwing these infantile brains, right? They're in chronologically, their bodies are mature, but their brains are dying and thirsting for knowledge and something to follow. And you're sending them off into these liberal cesspools, and they're absorbing all of this. And so what have you done now? What have you got? You've got these blind little sheep, these little robots, anybody who's ever watched Star Trek, you've got these little Borg. We are the Borg. And they're running around preaching this victimhood, transgender, ridiculousness.
Well, you know what? The We Are the Borg thing is always important. I always want that clip, but the clip that I have is just so bad. But We Are the Borg, and resistance is futile.
That's
always
the Democrat Party's mantra right now.
But I know, and I try not to get all into that today. I'm trying to stay more away from that. No, it's okay. We're setting a tone, okay? We're setting a tone. But I think what we need to recognize today, and again, and that's what I want people to understand, okay? We have to be able, and you said something interesting before we go. You said that you can give them all the facts in the world, but they don't care. And I said, and the one thing to respond to that with is, so what? And again, it is the two words that render them powerless because they don't know how to. The only thing that they know is that you're supposed to, is that you're supposed to care about whatever it is that ails them. They've always been placated, right? They are the toddler in the grocery store with a Molotov cocktail begging for a treat that mommy won't give them. And you have to make a decision. Do I give him the treat that will spoil his dinner? And if I don't, he's going to throw the Molotov cocktail. And that's who these toddlers are. But you know what? At some point, you have got to look at them and just go, you know what? No, so what? I don't care if you want to
Take
give
away
him.
his little
So
toy
what?
Molotov
You know what?
cocktail
Just
and make him sit in the basket and shut. You want to scream? Fine.
Take
scream.
the weapon. I'll never forget the day that when I my mom is carrying 2, maybe 3 bags of groceries as we're coming to my grandmother's house. We were living at my grandmother's house, and she's carrying these groceries, and I was pitching a fit because she wouldn't carry me too. I didn't care what she was carrying, and I went nuts. And in the middle of the street, I plopped my butt down in the middle of the street. My mom left me. My mom said, I left your little narrow behind there.
I've
went
done it
into
to
the
my
house.
kids.
She said she dropped the groceries and came back out there and saw that I was still sitting there. And she said, I've got a world-class butt whooping all the way back to the house. And
I have left my kid laying on the ground in the mall, kicking and screaming. I just walked away. Literally, I mean, I kept turning around and check.
But no,
they're little terrorists.
Yeah, but yeah, they do.
Terrorize
I got to wrap
you.
it up, but you make a good point because again, there's sort of that incessant need for the parent finally kicks into the kid. It was like, wow, they left me here.
All you need to do, this is how you treat these liberal ding-dongs. Walk away.
Yeah.
Just walk away.
As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC and Charlie Kirk in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. You, have a good night. Pleasant tomorrow. We'll see you back here next time. Go nowhere. Roseanne will be here too. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. Mark, thank you for riding with me on these 2 very, very somber days, sir.
You got it, Reese. Have a great night. If you're heading in toward Hartford right now, south of 91, you got delays 33.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
South of downtown, moving very well.
See you manana. Thank you, man.
No problem. You guys have a great night.
Thank you, man.
The Meriden exits, northbound 91's okay. Cromwell up.
All right, everybody. And thank you guys for riding with me as well. I hope that we gave you some hope, something to think about. I can't answer all the questions, but I really, really do. I really, really hope that we were able to give you some peace today. And if I did that, even for one of you, I can rest on that. And everybody get a good night's sleep. Just remember, I didn't want to say this on air, but I was glad that the prayer came in from Christine. I was saying this to John Beckman, and I truly do believe this because it's Charlie Kirk. I said, if there's anybody in the world that we know is with his Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, you know Charlie's there. If you've ever had doubts that when somebody goes and somebody passes away, that they are with their Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, you can damn well bet that Charlie is there. But another thing I want to say to Charlie is, please say hello to Rush for us. We miss him too. And I'm pretty sure he was right there at the gates waiting for you. God bless you all. Please be good to each other.